Okay, let's do some sound checks. And this time I'm going to remember, I already turned on subtitles, I fixed the game volume, and I'm recording. I'm on top of it today, guys. Yeah, I see somebody, Helix Soul, ooh, Chapter 2, that's right, today we're starting Chapter 2. So I'm going to, what am I going to do to start here while we're waiting? Because I'm not going to get going until 9 o'clock, but for now, maybe I'll go do, let's see here, what are my side quests? Because I want to start out with Chapter 2. Like, I imagine it's going to take us most of the evening just to do the first 2 quests that you can do right away in Chapter 2, because those are pretty long. So let's see here. Yeah, I guess we can go show. I don't want to do that stuff without being on camera if we already started it on camera. So what can we do in the meantime? You know what we can do? We can go to Diamond City and buy ammunition because I am constantly out. Let's see here. I guess I can go poke my head in settlements too and see where we're at with everything. Alright, let's... Can you guys can hear me alright, right? I got all this stuff working okay? Oh, fantastic, John. That's good to hear. That the long save issue I think is behind us. I think that thing is dead. I think I'm gonna be paying out that bounty next week. Alright, let's get over to Diamond City. Square. Oh, I want the marketplace. There we go. Sound good? Excellent. I had to completely redo my office today because we had a bunch of we're in a house built in, I want to say the 80s, and it was all original wood, and the wood has started rotting away. So we had to have a bunch of stuff replaced today, including the window right next to my desk.
You watch your step.
And I was worried I'd completely screwed up all my equipment when I did it. Alright, what am I doing? I need to go... Who sells ammo? This guy. Ammo. This dude right here. Alright.
If you're looking to keep your load light, we can shoot the breeze about the old-fashioned pistol or anything else you need.
Ghost of Sniper, what was causing it? This long save? So it was a couple of things. It was like a comedy of errors that happened. First off, Bethesda's part of their I'm gonna blame them first. They have so it's hard to explain without going into technical stuff, but basically part of their scripting engine does not handle things well at all. Stuff that any other scripting language would handle just fine, and it turned out that because of something I entered into the 2.0 patch, it basically hit that limitation of the engine over and over again, and we don't have the tools to know that was happening. So it took somebody, an expert at analyzing the game for making F4C plugins to figure out what the hell was going on.
I've got a few minutes to browse.
Don't forget to stock up on ammo.
You don't hear the NPCs, Quester? Okay, I'll turn it up a little bit. I turned it down because otherwise it gets so loud in my headphones that I lose track of what I'm talking about. So I'll turn that up in just a moment. All right, I guess I've already got all your 308 rounds. I'm not using any of this other stuff, so maybe you are not going to be my guy today, Mr. Arturo. All right, let's exit. No, exit. Cancel trade. Let's see. Turn up volume. I'm not going to crank it all the way just because, like I said, I don't want to get too distracted, so I'll put it up. But usually this is the volume I have it on.
Bad went down. The old Museum of Witchcraft up near Salem. Why would anyone even go there?
Okay. All right, let us find it. Let's see the Museum of Witchcraft. No thanks. All right, maybe you've got some ammo. I feel like
I don't
all
know
sorts
you.
of random NPCs
Just
have
keep
ammo.
your distance.
Well, Quester, if you guys can't hear me, I'll figure it out. I'll tinker around with the volume. Maybe I can figure out how to up the volume on the stream, but not on my headphones. I should be able to do that, actually. Let me tinker with my OBS settings. Give me a moment, because that would actually be preferable. Let me try that, because this is a little bit loud for me to actually be able to like focus and hear myself speak. So let's see if I can crank up just the output volume. I should be able to do that. I'm pretty sure that yeah, there's a volume boost here, so we're gonna boost this up by 6 decibels on the game volume. Okay, so now let's get on here. All right, you guys tell me if this is good. I'm gonna just talk to her and ask her questions.
Why?
Because I don't know you, and I will not serve a synth pretending to be human. So are you human?
Synth? What's a synth?
A synth. as in synthetic person.
This is good
Those
now? Okay,
things
cool.
the Institute makes.
Yeah, I forgot I
Look
had
real with
2 channels
hair
up the
and
audio so I
sweat
can
and
boost the
blood
game volume
and
independently.
everything.
Perfect.
So, are
Yeah, that's
you
a good idea.
human
Somebody
or
said
not?
go to Goodneighbor. I should do that. Come on, my chair. There we go. I don't have I'm in a carpeted basement is where I have my office set up and my little gaming rig, and I had grooves in the carpet from where my desk used to be, and they're gone now. I gotta rework them in.
Human as the day I was born.
Well, you do look human
Reset
enough.
memory lane. I
I'll
don't
be
know what you mean
watching
by
you.
that.
I
You
have
mean like the
eyes
quest
like
bugged
a...
out? No, there's no way to reset
Well,
quests.
they're
You can
good
skip them
eyes.
if you're
Got
stuck
it?
and you need to get
All right.
going.
We can do
Otherwise,
business,
it's
but
just
no
roll
funny
back your
stuff.
save. All right,
Let's see what you got.
A bit of everything.
Sell override MC location. Okay, I'll definitely look into that, Yogi, because I'm doing a lot of stuff in HQ right now, and I'll probably actually get to that tomorrow because I use that command all the time to skip ahead. Also, there's another command if anybody wants it, just for dinking around in HQ, where it just like force unlocks everything. It treats it like you did all the quests effectively, but you'll roll in there and there'll be nobody there. If you do, I'm gonna just type it up and then you guys can do what you want with it. So it's like, what is it? It's this, I think. It's just 2C2 HQ GNN. This is a test command we use for like our designers when they just want to test really quick. That command right there, that will basically, like, if you just took a fresh save, you wait 10 minutes for SS2 to do all of its background scripting, and then you run that command, you could just go right to the GNN. You would have to use the COC command. It would be like COC SS2C2 HQ main, I think that command would teleport you there, but like that's how you could cheat if you just want to experiment with HQ, if like that's what you're trying to do. Here we go, 308 rounds, give me those. I think that's all I need from her. 308's one of my big ones, and then I'm using, what else do I got here? The two, yeah, that thing. Laser pistol's the other one, so fusion cells, but I don't think she had fusion cells. I'll check one more time.
Remember, I don't serve synths. Supplies are just for humans.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's take a look.
Here's what we got.
Do you have fusion cells? I love seeing ASAM sensors for sale in the inventory because first of all, it just feels cool to have it like that, as if the NPCs just thought they were junk, just laying around not knowing what they were. And it's nice to know because sometimes script injection can get real wonky. It can be very hard to do correctly. We've actually been discussing that a lot on the team lately because there's some stuff that we've got coming in the next patch or two that we're trying to figure out how best to inject it into the game. And like we started looking into some of the leveled lists that Bethesda has, and like they just overuse the same leveled lists over and over again. So I'm just super nervous about injecting into them because I've seen what happens when other mods do it poorly. No, not cancel. Where's my X button? There we go. My recent obsession with Breath of the Wild is just ruining my ability to use an Xbox controller.
If you need a haircut.
Alright, I don't think we have time to get to Goodneighbor before 9 o'clock, but we can try. Well, let's see. Let's teleport over close by. So that is... I think that's there. Okay, we got that cleared out. Let's see here. Do I have it recording? Yes, I actually remembered to hit record. Not crazy. Any more thoughts about SS2 displays? We actually did do displays on the team. I actually sent one to everybody who worked on Chapter 2 to thank them. And so, like, I've started a relationship with Display, but what I'm trying to get approved from them, and I still haven't tried it again. I think I mentioned this before. I have a whole portfolio of art from the mod that many of the artists involved gave permission to do this for, is I could put them up for sale as a way to help fund development, is to put those for sale. That is still on my to-do list, but I have so many obligations to take care of. The biggest one that's taken up my non-mod development time right now is recording footage for the voice actors. So like one of the ways we thank them is to give them a nice reel footage. So we pick out a bunch of the best moments for their character and record them in as high quality as we can, and then we edit them all together into a video, and we add like a professional overlay that shows like what mod game/game it's for, and then we send that over to them. So that's my current project. It's taking up all my time though, and I'm not doing all my other stuff that I need to do. But that'll be that type of project. I kind of lump that kind of stuff all together. It's community stuff effectively. All right, there we go. Nice headshot to start us off. Beautiful. That's got to be Goodneighbor, right? Can you like leap over that wall to get in there? Oh, we're almost at 9 o'clock here. Hey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. Dude just spawned out of nowhere. That was weird. Alright, let's see here.
Someone there.
I feel like this is the general direction of Goodneighbor.
Must have been nothing.
I hear all sorts of people down there fighting, squawking. I remember the last time I did a Let's Play series, I must have spent 30 minutes trying to find my way into Goodneighbor, and it was in the same thing, like just like looping around some map or quest objective, and it was just like, where the heck is the entrance? Fortunately, those were all edited, so it wasn't as big a deal as this. You guys gotta suffer through me. But once it hits, I'm hoping I can at least get there just for the map marker before we switch over, but that is not looking like it's in the cards. I might be cheating here and doing a little COC. Oh, Jesus. What are you doing, dog meat? Oh, you're fighting roaches. Thank you. You can leap over the wall. Okay, then that probably would have been a better entrance instead of me looping circles. Oh, and now, well, at least I can use the bookstore as a closer fast travel point. Actually, I don't know that it's actually faster. All right, let's fast travel over. Oh, it's 9 o'clock. Excellent. So, I can't fast travel. There's too much combat going on. All right, I'll do the introduction in a second. First, we need to survive. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the stream. Right now, I'm trying to make my way to what do you call it? Goodneighbor, because we've got some quests there. And while I was just kind of waiting for 9 o'clock to hit, now we're just... Oh, is that the entrance right over there? Can I get there? Come on, get me over there. I just want to get to Goodneighbor. I think that is the entrance. All right, we're going to Goodneighbor. And then we'll intro proper. Thank you, everybody, for... Oh, God, you're not dog meat. You aren't either, you phonies. Oops, I didn't need that meat, but that's okay. Yeah, welcome everybody. We're going to get started in just a moment here. We're actually going to start playing Chapter 2 today. So we've been playing a little bit of Chapter 2 up to this point in the stream. We've been doing the Conquered quests, and I don't think I've started CPD yet. We did meet the Nightingales. But now today we're actually going to start the main quest of Chapter 2. I got us right up to the end of Chapter 1 the last stream. And but before we do that, I will go over how my stream works. I'm just trying to get this map marker so that we can come back to Goodneighbor quickly in the future. All right, let's see if I can dodge it starting up this little encounter. Yes, I did. Okay. All right, so welcome everybody. This is, I think we're on day 9 or day 10 of this live stream. And the way that I do the live stream is I am very, very bad about attention span. Like I will let my mind will wander to random stuff, and it gets way worse if I'm paying attention to chat. So I tend to just play the game for about an hour, hour and a half, sometimes a little bit more, and then after that, then I go the opposite direction. I basically leave the game just idling, and I engage 100% with chat, and we usually go for about another hour, hour and a half. So this will be about a 3-hour stream. And during the engagement period, we'll have Sirlach, who's kind of a, I guess we'll call him a project manager on the team. He does a lot of different things. But we'll be bringing him on, so we have somebody else you guys can ask questions to, and somebody I can keep conversation going, so it doesn't you guys don't get tired of hearing me talk about the same things. As far as getting my attention during the stream, if you want, when I have moments of downtime with load screen stuff, I will peek over. You're only gonna get my attention if you @KingGath me. If I don't see the orange highlighting on the chat, I'm not gonna know what to read, because there's just a barrage of chat on the right-hand side of my screen. So if you want to get my attention, do an @KingGath. I may not catch it until that halfway point of the stream when I switch to full engagement. Then there's one way where you'll pretty much guaranteed get my attention, which is Super Chat. So to talk about how we deal with Super Chats, we don't use that money for our, like I don't use that money to go buy coffee and stuff. Like that money is rolled into the mod in some form or another. So we pay for server costs, we buy assets with it, we upgrade equipment for team members. stuff like that, but we're not using it for our personal expenses or anything. So if you're looking to kind of throw down on the development of the mod and help us pay for the cost and everything, super chats are a great way to do it, and I'll read out your chat, assuming it's not something horrible you're trying to get me to say. Speaking of which, Jim Simon, thank you for the donation. Sirlach, thank you for being part of this great team. Oh, Sirlach is in chat. Welcome, sir. So with all that out of the way, I'm going to start playing now. So don't mind the fact that I am ignoring chat for now for the sake of actually getting something done in the game. All right, so we're going to teleport over to Concord, and we'll get this thing going. So on the last episode, we finished up the last of picking up the pieces. We laid down the third beacon, so we are 100% done with Chapter 1's content. Now, because I played Chapter 1 with Chapter 2 installed, it's going to do a natural segue. If you had done Chapter 1 first and then picked up Chapter 2 from an old save, you'd have this intro as well, but you would have seen a different ending to Chapter 1, which it gets skipped if you just come in and you have it installed already. So I'm just getting the skipped version, like the final version we expect people to see.
What happened here?
Huh. Was wondering when you'd show up.
It's always awkward to me in this game whenever the dialogue wheel doesn't come up unless you face the character.
What the hell is going on here?
Was in the neighborhood. Thought I'd stop by. Truth be told, you and your partner left quite an impression. Was actually hoping to ask you and him a few questions.
I remembered
But
subtitles
as you can
today.
See, he isn't exactly here right now. In fact, entire town seems deserted.
So
By the state of the
I've watched
place,
people
I'd
do
say
Let's
there
Plays
was
of
some
this, and
kind
the
of
town
struggle
seems
here.
deserted line always is like, wait, what do you
I
mean there's no
think
one here?
someone's
Makes a
taken
lot
your
more
partner.
sense if you played with Chapter 2 installed from Chapter 1, because then you get the Conquered characters showing up beforehand.
That's not all.
Huh. You're right. Looks like there's some equipment missing too. Why don't you search around or something? Maybe you can find the answer to who did this.
There we go. So this is we in our files we have this quest is called MQ15, and we have two versions of it. So there's one in Chapter 1 and one in Chapter 2. Now I know that I don't have to actually interact with all this stuff, but you can, and it all just makes little comments. Oh, where did Jake's scarf go? It's got physics enabled, so it just kind of goes flying occasionally. Probably bounced into the ceiling or something. Maybe dog meat took it.
Oh no.
But we're gonna skip right to the final one.
What have we here?
What'd you find? A holotape. Huh. Don't suppose you've got a holotape player.
I happen to have one. So I love what we're about to listen to. These little holotape dramas. Cyvirus is a fellow on our team who is an audio engineer, and he assembles these with adding all the sound effects and making sure that it sound like that there's kind of 3D spatial sound and making sure the voices sound appropriately muffled and far away and stuff. And he puts these little radio dramas together, and they come out really, really cool. If I can remember Jake's radio line. Here we go.
He's over there! I see him. Suppress it by. Avoid the tag. Oh, shit! Slick! Get the beacon! I need you to get back here! Fast!
It's a little throwback to our trailers.
Go away!
We actually wrote that line for the trailer.
Shit!
Because we had this really cool vision for the trailers that we ended up putting out.
Faster! God! You're gonna pay for killing Shepard.
Knock it off. Algernon wants him alive. Just bind his hands and get the bag over his head. Hey. Hey, kid. It's safe to come in now.
Oh, okay. Wait, who is that? You've hurt him.
Never mind who it is. Just get ready to start moving the tech. But first, check out that terminal. Find out why it's flashing like that.
It looks like there's a message being recorded. It's not transmitted yet. I think I can stop it broadcasting. I just need to...
Good. I can make sure it don't broadcast. Move, egghead.
What are you... Wait, don't!
Oh, I love those. They're so good. He first started doing those on Conqueror. We had a couple of them where there's kind of like you can hear stuff happening in the background on a radio conversation. The first one I was like totally blown away, and I'm like, oh man, like Sai is so good at these. And you guys who played Conqueror, there's a quest where you have to go into, what's it called? The quarry where there's the cultists down there. I can't remember the name of the quarry. And like at the end of it, you have like these visions as you're walking down there. But in that quarry, on the way out, our characters radio you, and you can hear like some of them fighting in the background, like as if they're off far away. And it just came out so amazing. And I'm just like, oh my god, this is so engaging. Like it just sounds real. It was really, really well done. So he's done quite a few of them since then. But this one, I think, is his new best one.
Hi.
Yeah?
Who kidnapped him?
Whoever it was, they've got your partner. Sounded like he gave back as good as he got, though.
Oh yeah,
Maybe he's got more backbone than I thought. Hey, check out the remains of the attacker your partner took down. Don't be shy. Plunge your hands right in there.
Yeah, and speaking of SS2's radio play, I should also give credit to Kobus, who is our voice director, and chooses the correct takes and brings it all together. So it's a team effort, but I know that Sai is the one who gets all the audio, the directionality, and everything all worked out, and adds in the sound effects. But they both just do really, really great work.
Diamond City. It's a clue, but not enough.
That's something, which is more than you had a minute ago. Who does your partner know that lives in Diamond City? Because I'd say they're who you want to talk to next.
These are the moments where I wish we had to be able to have the player say stuff like, well, I think if you have Idiot Savant, there's an option that's meow for the coolest cat for the Ron, but it's a shame sometimes when we can't get them to say things like, oh, the Ron.
Diamond City it is.
Good. Now, I got some errands to do. I'll see you later.
It's the same mystery of why their ammunition and cloth clothing and stuff survives. It's always absurd. I think we just leaned into the absurdity there. It's like, well, we wanted Aiden to make you do something disgusting, because Aiden's kind of a dick. All right, I think I stole like 40 ASAM sensors from poor kidnapped Jake during that whole sequence. Okay, so we're gonna go meet him at Diamond City, but while we're over here, we'll go show this stuff to Edmund so we can get this quest advanced too while we're here. Hey, oh wait, that's right. Okay, so let me see if we set one up in here. So one of the things we did for this, so we know that the Conquered quests can be confusing because all of a sudden you get to a point in the main quest and then you can't work on the Conquered quest anymore because you come back to turn them in and the characters are just gone. So we were torn about how to handle this, and this is something we've just added recently, I think in the last patch or the one before it, of how do we handle the fact that, like, to explain it to players without saying, explicitly saying you can't, we don't want to spoil the story or everything, but like, how do we explain to them, hey, you need to go pursue the main quest before these people come back? And so our solution, if I can find one, I don't know if we have one in the church or not. I assume we do, and I don't know where they all are. But we planted in each of the NPCs' houses like a note from Jake mentioning how talking about the fact that all of the NPCs, our backstory for this particular moment during this time period where Jake got kidnapped is they went with Mala to help salvage all the goods. And the reason we ended up doing that is because the project for Conquered was actually worked on by a separate team than the writers of the main quest. And so having to synchronize up and have, alibis for all of these different NPCs for why they didn't help Jake or why they happened to not see it happen was just absurd. It was like, this is just not believable. So instead we came up with the idea of that, like, oh, well, what if none of them were around? And the easiest way for us to do that was like, well, obviously if we're going to salvage tons and tons of junk to build up later all the defenses here, then it would make sense for all of them to go help Mala do that. So that ended up being our explanation, but some people don't remember that or didn't catch that line because it's just like a throwaway line, Jake says. So now inside of everybody's house, let's see if I can find one in Caleb's. There's a little note from Jake to each of the characters, like explaining that he'll contact them when it's time to move on to the next objective or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I'll find one to show you guys. I think it was a solution that let us maintain some what would you say, immersion without and still give the information necessary. But I actually don't know where they all got put. So, and maybe I did set it up incorrectly, but Or maybe I didn't patch it in yet. It might have been something that, because I know SAG was working on this. He may have submitted it for merge, and I may have just not merged it in yet. I'm pretty sure I put it in the patch list. Oh, here it is. Here we go. Jake's letter. Hey there, Caleb. First of all, thanks for agreeing to help move equipment back to Concord. Hope you had some headway in finding your wife. Oddly enough, I emphasize. Once my partner agrees to place down the salvage beacons, Mala can settle on these immediately. Oops. Just interrupted it. Next. You'll have to follow Mala and help her strip down a salvage site. Might take a few days, so make sure you bring plenty of supplies. Stay with Mala until you hear from me. So this was our way of kind of implying to the player that, like, that's why the character isn't back. Now, one of the things I probably would love to... Oh, I'm going to say I probably will do, but sometimes when I say that, that means in a year because there's just so many things to do. It's impossible to do them all quickly. So they end up going on our, like, enhancement list, and the enhancement lists tend to be the things we do after, either because we're just inspired in the moment or because we've run out of other things to add to patches. Like we fixed most of the easy bugs to fix, and like that's the sort of thing that'd be. But what I'd like to do is update the objectives. So things like this objective here would point to that letter. Like that to me I think would be the ultimate solution to make sure people understand why the heck they can't turn in a Concord quest. So anyway, there's some background stuff on development. So sometimes we got to come up with wacky solutions like that to problems because we get ourselves into weird corners just due to multiple teams working on different content and trying not to like hang up one part of the development on another. It's the type of thing where like if we had unlimited time, like we weren't trying to release things every so often, like then we would spend the extra time to coordinate those better and write it all in. But we've opted instead to cut some corners in places and try and come up with different ways to do things. I hope you guys don't mind that, since we're still a mod team. We're not a AAA dev, as much as we'd all like to think we are sometimes. All right, let's go visit old Ronnie boy. All right, here we go. Let's go talk to poor injured Ron.
Oh, man. You're not here to perform some kind of revenge killing or something, are you? Because that'd be a real drag.
What are you talking about?
You know, because I gave up Jake. Oh, man, I didn't want to. But pain has a way of making a cat
I hope
talk.
we have this set up correctly.
So,
I'm going to show you guys a little Easter egg after this conversation. I know what was planned for something, and we won't be able to find out for a couple of days. You guys are going to have to remind me to do this, but I'll explain it in a minute. But there's something really hilarious that's built in here if it got implemented.
It was the gunners, man.
Jason Lokrantz, thank you for the donation. The work you've all done with this is AAA in my eyes. Loving every second. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Communication devices and pre-war
I respectfully
tech.
disagree because I think we've got a long ways to go, but we're doing our best. I think the voice acting is AAA for sure. Some of our work leaves a lot to be desired, and I can never fix bugs fast enough. Actually, I'm making moves to try and remedy that soon because I recognize that I do not work fast enough for many folks. There's a lot of things that have remained buggy in the mod for far too long, and I've been trying to get that rectified and cut myself out as such a bottleneck in the process. Oh, I've got the medic perk. Oh, that's right. That's because I've been taking all the perks to make myself die less.
Oh, yeah. That feels much better. Thanks. Look, I didn't want to give them any info, but I've never been tortured before. I had no idea it could hurt so much. This cat couldn't hold out. I told them what they wanted to know. I told the gunners about Jake. And then they broke my legs as a thank you. Is Jake okay? He's not mad at me, is he?
So what do you guys think? So I had an idea when I first experienced this scene for myself playing it in testing, and he said his legs were broken. This is the vision I had, but we didn't move on it, and I think it would work still. Is if after this scene, the next time you come back and see the Ron, he's just bedridden in like a double leg cast, and he just operates from his bed for the rest of chapter 2. Like every time you talk to him to get a lead, he's just kind of in bed, legs up. I thought that would be hilarious because then he'd basically be injured until chapter 3. That would be really funny. We'd have to get a custom animation for that done. And I don't know if Sirlach would agree with this change. I just thought it would be hilarious to come back to get info from him and he's just laid up like in a hospital.
They took him. But I'm going to find him.
The Gunners took Jake? Oh, not cool.
Do you have any idea how I could find him?
I can't help you there. I've no idea where they might have taken him. But wait. The tough that worked me over, I did overhear him mention a place. An old schoolhouse. Malden Middle School. But there's nothing there. It's just an old ruin.
Come on, Ron. You're supposed to have information.
I don't like
How did you not know?
Jake was my pal too. But
plot holes.
If the Gunners took him, he's a goner.
How can you say that?
Gunners don't take prisoners. Whatever their reasons for nabbing Jake, chances are they've already put that hound dog down.
Thiago, I actually don't know what
Listen,
we're doing with Ron long
don't
term.
go
That's why I said it.
kicking
I don't know what
the
Sirlach
Cazador
would want to
nest.
do. He's our,
Don't give
he's
the
our,
Gunners a
main quest
reason to
writer.
ice you too.
And I know he's going to get him evolved again, just because he's a fun character. But I honestly don't know what his arc is, where he ends up or anything. I've suggested a few things that I know have been rejected because they were making him too silly. But I like the character a lot. I think I enjoy the silliness of him.
Maybe I can reason with them.
Are you serious? Gunners aren't exactly known for their diplomacy. What they want, they take. Fine. If you're going to go searching for Jake, least I can do is try and keep you alive. Check the file cabinet in my office. There's a few stealth boys in there, behind a false panel. Take them. They're yours. If Jake is still alive somewhere, maybe they can help you get to him. And if you come across any Gunners, give them a knuckle sandwich. Courtesy of the Ron. Oh, yeah! Oh, I think a rib's poking at my lungs. I hope you can
Dead
find
Cast,
Jake.
I've seen a couple people suggest that
Good
Ron
luck,
be a radio
cool cat.
DJ. He would be awesome as a DJ. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Let's see if it's set up this way. Oh, it's not set up. So there's a thing we've been trying to figure out how to set it up. It doesn't work currently. I'm gonna just spoil this for you guys. One day it'll be a nice Easter egg for somebody. So originally, what was written is his toupee would be lootable, and if the
I
next
told
time
him.
you saw him,
I said I
you
don't
were
sell
wearing it,
information on
then
clients.
he would compliment your hair.
They weren't looking to buy.
And that's what I was going to do, and I didn't know if we got it rigged up, but it looks like we didn't. Because for whatever reason, as soon as we
Bleeding all
turn
over my
that
suit.
into, it looks like his conversation's set to loop. Oops, I'll have to add a fix for that. As soon as we turn that into an armor record, like a lootable item or an equipable item, then it switches back to black. But for whatever reason, if we can do the color conversion when it's just a static. I have no idea why. But anyway, so that there's a joke. We've got the voice recorded for it and everything, and it's set up, but it's disabled right now because we couldn't figure out how to make that a blonde equipable wig. So if anybody knows how to do that, I would love to get that into the mod. Oh, there's Sirlach. The coolest toupee in the Commonwealth. I know we can do it. I gotta find somebody. You know who can probably help us is Monkey Spunk. He knows something about weird outfit records and things. I gotta poke him about it. All right, let's save just because I feel like I haven't done so in a while. When I'm playing, usually I'm just relying on the autosave gods, and that's done.
So, the Gunners snatched Jake. Yeah, that makes sense.
Seems like I have a stalker.
Huh.
Man, I was sure I went through this quest and changed all of the perk
Yeah, I
options to
followed you
have
after you left the hardware store.
the speech check
I'm glad
declaration.
that I
Apparently,
did.
I missed a bunch.
Listen, first time we met, I didn't know what to make of you or your partner, but I had time to think it over. It's obvious now you're no friend of the Gunners. And for the most part, you seem to be able to take care of yourselves. Kidnappings notwithstanding. So I was thinking, maybe we should cooperate. You know, help each other out. Enemy of my enemy and all that.
Why should I trust you?
I'm not asking you to trust me. I'm just floating the idea of us working together.
Canuck, so the way that happens, there's a checkbox on dialogue scenes that says player can't exit dialogue, and if the quest has that checked in, that's what causes that. We've made that mistake a couple times, and I stopped using that because we only use it now for cutscenes, because otherwise, yeah, it can cause that problem. It can get you stuck permanently in a conversation until you figure out which one you were in.
Okay, I'm listening.
Huh.
Quester WI, you can ask about HQ stuff. It's not guaranteed I'll catch your question. I just happen to be reading chat while I'm listening to these guys talk. I think everybody knows there's spoilers aplenty, especially when we get to the halfway point and we start doing Q&A and audience engagement. Then there's going to be all sorts of spoilers because I am happy to answer questions about mechanics and stuff. That was actually the goal originally when I was going to do the thing, but it seemed to be that we were getting very few questions about that, so that's why I kind of pivoted over to turn it into a little mini podcast and bring on a guest, so that we have stuff to talk about, because I like hanging out with y'all, but there aren't enough questions coming at me in the last half to keep up a full hour and a half. So if you got questions, bring them on, but I'd save them until then.
You mean Jake?
That's right. It's unusual for gunners to take prisoners, but we both heard that holotape. They wanted Jake alive. Now, I'm not saying I know for sure, but I suspect that if your partner's anywhere, it'll be in that vault. And it just so happens, I got the codes to get inside. So I say, we break into that vault, take down the gunner's station there, and maybe find your partner.
What do you actually want?
I'm not exactly trying to hide my motives here. If I can find a way to piss off the gunners, disrupt their operations, and help out potential allies, well, that's a good day for everyone. Apart from the gunners, of course. Which is just the way I like it.
Quester, yeah, that feature's actually coming in 2.02. I actually happen to do that, because I watched enough people doing Let's Plays where they're like, wow, it's irritating that I have to walk back in, or go back out the door before I can fast travel, which is reasonable.
Okay,
let's go.
Let's get to work.
Good. I'll meet you near the school. Don't be long.
Okay. So I think this is like one of the only quests where you can do 2 in a row in Chapter 2, and then we go back to the pattern we did a lot in Chapter 1, where we give you a break in between because we want you to be able to play the rest of the game, like work on your settlements and stuff. But we're going to go right ahead and do this right away, because this is one of our best quests, is Runners and Gunners. It's so good. Oh, guys, good news. When we go back to... Maybe I'll do that right now. You guys remember that poor settler in Sanctuary that just dies over and over again? I have a solution for her. Let's go save her. And then we'll meet Aiden. Veloc85, thank you for the donation. Appreciate everything you and the team have done with this mod. Thank you very much. I did not mean to go Elvis there, but thank you for the donation. That's really, really awesome, and the kind words. Quester WI, thank you for the donation. Yeah, I assume that's to the teleport thing that changed. Yeah, I think that's gonna. Those are the type of things when I said that we were waiting to do quality of life until after we got some of the major bugs worked out. That's the type of thing we're gonna look at, is just like little changes we can make to make the mod more enjoyable on a moment-to-moment basis. There's so much more I gotta do still. One of the things I'm thinking about doing with regards to HQ, because I know there's been a lot of chatter on the forums, like people are just like really like, what the hell's going on with this? Why is so much broken? Why is this like this? I'm thinking about doing like a roadmap for it. It wouldn't be like a timed roadmap, because some of it is just like I have to just work it in. My schedule is my schedule. But just to show you guys what's planned in a little more detail, because right now we've got, in our future, we kind of go on the mod page on Nexus, we go over a little bit of what's going on, like what's coming to HQ, but it doesn't really go into detail, and I have a lot more detail now, and I'm not, it's going to be patched content, so I'm not super worried about keeping it close to the chest like I do with the chapter content, where we kind of keep that super secret. I think this was the settler that was dying.
Know. People have been complaining a bit about the bed situation.
I think she's all fixed already. So what I did was, if any of you guys have seen characters doing this where they keep falling over and over again, I figured out why it's happening. This NPC, and I've seen other people with saves with this, the NPCs, if they run through toxic water, like hazardous water. So in our case, it happened because we have hazardous water right over here. if an NPC steps on hazardous water
more
and then the
homes,
cell unloads, so like if I fast travel
even just
away,
beds.
they get permanently infected with the water radiation poisoning, and so then their rads just keep climbing up forever. And what's even weirder about it is after they recover, then the rads start going negative until they reach a certain number, and then they loop back down again and kill the settler again. It's on repeat. I've seen people with this happen to have had this happen to their companions. I've seen somebody had it happen to Jake. So I now made it so that the Vitamatic will clear that problem. So like if you, in 2.02, if you ever have an NPC doing that perpetually, like they just keep falling down, it's because of water radiation. And the Vitamatic, when you scan them with it, will now cure that problem. So we'll fix probably a lot of random saves that people thought were broken. So now our settler is alive. All right, let's go to Malden Middle School here. Where is Malden Middle School? Have I even been anywhere near it? I have not. Well then, I think, all right, you know what? I think we have a quest to like rescue, where was it? Pretty sure we have a quest to help. Yep, tapping the boathouse for Oberlin Station. Well, let's do that while we're at it. So we'll head over in that direction. We're at landfill. Let's see where we headed. All right, we just gotta go down this road, nice and easy. Let's see. Yagi, my biggest QOL suggests for HQs there should be a caravan fast travel option out of there somewhere. So I mean, now I just made it so you can just in 2.2 you'll be able to just like open up your map and fast travel out of there without, because it is stupid that you gotta walk out the front door, especially with how big that place is. Like if you find yourself, you know, down in the basement in the corner and you're like, oh, I need to go somewhere, you gotta walk back up the elevator and go back out there. It's just a big hassle. That seems unnecessary. I think fast traveling out of that place is reasonable. It might have, you know, there might be a moment where I regret that if like we need a story moment where we just really need to prevent you from walking out. Like we might change that for a chapter 3 thing. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We can always, I'm guessing there's a papyrus command to disable fast travel temporarily if we need to deal with that. But I think for the time being, for the next, you know, I don't know how many months you're playing chapter 2 alone, I think fast traveling out of there is totally reasonable. Chuck Gorson, just curious on how you'll fit Chapter 3 on Xbox. Is there any plans for Chapter 3 on Xbox? Yeah, so we've got some ways to do that. The biggest way we're gonna do that is taking content that isn't necessary to enjoy the story and moving it to SS2 Extended. So for example, almost all of our custom settlers have custom outfits. Well, those settlers could still work without those custom outfits. So we could do something like on Xbox, make those NPCs just wear vanilla clothing, and like that'll save us a ton of space. Or things that are like the dynamic soundscape, we can move that to PC only. Like there's a lot of content like that, but that's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to like really tighten up which stuff goes on Xbox. So it'll be keeping as much of the code and story content in place and removing anything that's just like window dressing. So, you know, PC's once Chapter 3 comes out, PC is gonna be the way to experience SS2, but you know, a lot of you started it on Xbox, you should be able to finish it. Awful. Good Lord. Oh, you know what this calls for? I guess we're doing close-up sniper. Wait, how did that not kill you? Get out of here. Oh, I love me some Jet. I don't know how I haven't gotten addicted to it yet. Oh, am I out of stim packs? I guess I should have been buying those when I was in Diamond City. Although we might be making another stop back because I don't think I'm gonna. Excuse me, I don't think I'm gonna survive without that because I don't know if. Well, I guess I have the charisma. I can probably survive. What do you call it? I can probably manage to bluff my way through the next quest. But now it's a matter of can I survive these blood bug fights with. I think I'm gonna have to do some stealth in here. I almost said snelthin. Uh-oh, caution. What do we think here? Can we get him? Yeah, I knew that's what happened. We're gonna hit some random geometry that's not really there. Oh, come on. Come on, game. Come on. Gotcha. One down. Can we get our buddy in here? Yeah. Dog meat. Get him. Thank you. Tank for us. It's just a bug. You got this. Alright, let's do that. There we go. Okay. Oh, come on. Lockpicking I don't mind as much doing on cam as much as I hate doing the hacking. And I love the hacking minigame. Get this out of here. I love the hacking minigame in when I play by myself, but and not all the time. Usually like the first time, like in a new area, if there's like a chance I'm gonna get some new lore, I'm all about it. But otherwise, I've kind of grown tired of the hacking minigame now. I remember in Fallout 3, I was all about that minigame for some reason. All right then. All right. Well, we might as well. Oh, I don't have any settlers here yet. But I was gonna say I should start a city plan. But I don't know if I let that if I've let that stop me in the past or not. Let's see. Do I have enough stuff to build? No. Well, we're cheating. For the sake of keeping this stream moving quickly, we're gonna cheat here, and we're gonna at least. Did I turn leaders off? I may have turned leader requirement off because of this, because I just wanted to build a bunch of city plans as quickly as possible. And now that I got loads of ASAM sensors from our boy Jake, let's see, leader requirement is on still. Okay, we'll keep playing by that. So we'll at least get a, but fortunately, vanilla rules are, as soon as you build a beacon, you get, within, a minute or two, you get 1 to 3 settlers. So we'll get a leader right away. We'll let them build this place up for us. So let's go ahead and preemptive strike. Build this, and then I'm going to get out of God mode before I forget. There we go. Oh, Yagi, that's a cool idea. I always forget about survival mode because I just don't play in it ever. But yeah, that's a good idea too. There's one of the things that is coming to HQ is the ability to build some stuff outside. It won't work the same as inside because of it would require us doing a lot of vanilla edits. It's going to work a little bit differently. I mean, mechanically it'll work the same, but from a tech perspective, it's different. So like it won't be as moddable as the interior is going to be when I start doing the BTK. But right now, I think we'd set up the outside as all defensive stuff, but it wouldn't be hard for us to make one like a little caravan outpost, which would be thematically appropriate for logistics. And then we could put something like that there. So it's a good idea. And I'm sure several folks on the team would be very pleased with that idea because we've got some survival players on the team, including Sirlach, our writer, which is why you'll find some of his stuff is very friendly to non-fast traveling survival players. Like it's things like when you see stuff like putting in crafting benches inside of Jake's hardware store and putting a storage chest that's set to not reset. Those are his ideas because he plays survival a lot. So nice little stop off things. I think that's actually the reason. That's how the Nightingales actually came to be too, is because as a survival player, he wanted more people to be able to heal him randomly out in the world. Let's see. Bird Up, can you think of any reason why I can't recruit settlers to HQ? I'll ask them to say sure, but never actually go there. My guess would just be script lag. Changing. This is one of those things. Brian and I have discussed this a couple times. We don't know how to even begin approaching this, but the code in the vanilla game, which is what Workshop Framework uses and Sim Settlements 2 uses, to transfer NPCs between locations, like between settlements or between a settlement HQ, is so slow and janky. That it gets like bogged down super easy. If you guys ever play, any of you guys have played Conqueror, you remember that when you would take over a location, like say you assault a settlement and you go to take it over, it could take like an hour before your soldiers actually moved into that settlement, and this is part of that. It's part of the problem, and I think HQ suffers from that occasionally. So if your save is at a point where you got a lot going on, like it can take forever for people to transfer. Could also just be that you're out of space, like you don't have enough living space, but it should pop you up and warn you about that. John Geddes, will there eventually be an option to have settlement objects in HQ or just the menu that currently exists? There might be some small opportunities for it, but it'll never, the design goal is never for you to be manually building in there. And part of that is a technical limitation, and then another part of it is we just want it to feel different than a settlement. We don't want you to feel like you're supposed to build everything in there, or that you're supposed to be, you know, the next temptation is then for people to just be like, well, why do I need settlements? I'll just build food and power and everything out of here, which would defeat one of the primary purposes of HQ, which is supposed to be kind of an end game goal. It's, you know, it's you building up all your settlements and building up all those resources, and then you have something to do with them, something to invest all those resources with. So if we just let you manually build in there, then that opens the door to just start thinking, well, then why don't I just build everything here? And the technical reason is, in that cell, the way we have it set up, and some of you will have witnessed this already with the little blue men things that you build in there. You build them and they disappear instantly, and that is a technical thing. So to help with performance in there, we use something called room bounds, and those do not work good in settlements. So there's a couple of reasons why we aren't doing that, but there are some mechanics on the way where it would be really helpful for players to be able to build a few simple items in there, so I'm not certain I'm going to say no to that, but for now, the plan is no. All right, let's see here now. Okay, so we're really close to it, but I decided I needed stim packs, right? So we need to get back to DC. Pick some. Oh, we'll stop over here on the way to Overland. We'll get our. Yeah, I don't need that. I'm wasting your guys' time if I do that. Let's just go get some stim packs. I should just cheat it. It's so I don't know where my I guess my line for cheating is. I'm trying to not cheat with combat like things, because that takes away all of the sense of urgency and pressure from it. Like if I just toss on God mode, or if I just go cheat all of my resources, then combat has no purpose, and then I might as well just skip it all. I think it adds a lot. It's fun. It's a nice break of pace between the quests. And then so like with settlement stuff, because it takes forever to gather up the junk. I'm probably trying to avoid looting, I guess, is where I don't mind cheating. I don't want to have to loot all the junk because it takes forever.
Facial reconstruct.
Though that's my favorite part of playing by myself. Like if I'm not trying to entertain or keep something going, like I will
supplies,
like play in front of other people. I will loot every single container and get every piece of junk out of it, which is why salvage beacons exists. All right, what do you got for me? 9 stim packs. Yes. Oh wow, that's expensive. I need to get some. I need to get some perks on bartering here. All right, what do we got that you can just have? I'm not using buff out ever. Yeah, I'm not using Med-X because I just never remember I have it until it's too late. I guess I should hold on to some meat to give to little Cola. Oh, I forgot to grab the Stealth Boys from the Ron. Oh well. Not gonna be drinking any vodka. Not selling you that stuff. Do they pay much for fusion cores? Oh man, they pay handsomely for them. Unlike 76, where just nothing. Yep. I accept your 9 stim packs and 40 caps. Alright, now we'll fast travel on back. Wait, what is this? Oh yeah, so I thought I had a quest for... I happen to have a quest for that hospital too. Yep. Not gonna do it, but interesting that I happen to get it. Chuck Boris, have you ever considered making a mod that skins the Minutemen to Commonwealth Police? That would make the Minutemen a lot better. No, I'm not gonna make a mod like that, but anybody else could. Like, I have no. The only time I usually, like, when people ask, like, can I make a mod to do X, like, if it's gonna require SS2 and use as long as it requires SS2 and using our assets, I probably don't care if it doesn't have to include them. If it's like trying to take the assets and include them with their mod without requiring SS2, then it's a little stickier because a lot of times we get our assets from other creators and such, so I can't usually say yes to that. But yeah, anybody who if somebody wanted to just make an SS2 like add-on that did that, like I don't recommend that. Wait, why can't I shoot him? Oh, I just don't have enough action points because I was sprinting. Oh my god, so many blood bugs. That's on you. It's on you, dog meat. You take them down. I don't have enough stim packs for this. You use all my stim packs before we get to the real battle. Now I need that. Alright, we're going back to our faux stim pack here. Wow, I missed totally in my sights, but they counted it anyway. Yeah, we're jetting it up today. Bring on the addiction. Be nice if you guys dropped anything useful. What are we doing on next beat? I don't usually worry about that, but now I want it for the ding. Oh, I got a level up to use. All right. Oh, and I think I said I was saving this point because I'm about to get to, I think level 18 is when I can get 3 different of my perks updated, which I want. So this is like a non-point right now. All right. I guess we can use some rat. Whoa, caught that bright moment. Let's do some rat eggs. Just a little bit of health. Not that I should need it, as long as I remember how to. No, let's not fight some things right now. Oh, no one's there. Don't worry about me. Synths are over here too. What? Wait, do I hear a? Oh god. Oh god. Alright. No. Oh god. Come on. No. Oh god, this is gonna hurt. Go! Oh, I don't have ammo loaded. Well, I guess if there was ever a time for Jet. Oh, they got me. That was fun. And I think that's why I don't cheat in combat and stuff, because it makes it more fun for me. Well then, let's try that again. Maybe I'll take advantage of the fact that I'm investing points in stealth and try and dodge some of this stuff. That was all Dogmeat's fault, though. I feel like I was well out of the way, aggroing them guys. Dogmeat, I'm gonna send you home if you keep this up. Tony 2013 FL, thank you for the donation. Hi, can't use the disease cure on settlers. Still don't know why, but the F function doesn't work. Or the R function doesn't work. Okay, so I can tell you why that is. Actually, that reminds me, I need to get back on there's a bug reported that I keep meaning to prioritize, and I have not. You're supposed to, as an optional method, be able to just trade them, the disease cures, but that apparently is broken from a couple of people I've seen trying to use it. But if the R option for disease cure doesn't come up, or you click it and nothing happens, it means you have another mod adding an alternate activation. Now, one of my own mods adds an alternate activation settlers, which is Workshop Plus. So if you happen to have that, or another mod that adds an alternate activation, then disease cure button won't work. And then, yeah, you're kind of boned there. So that is something on my radar to get fixed. But I will say that you don't actually have to cure your settlers. It's not that important. Until you get into the later game, then it becomes a little more important. But by then, you should have hospitals, which are going to be the better way to do it. And then the best way to do it is to have hospitals and invest in the research system in HQ, so that you get you discover the cures to all the diseases, because some of the diseases are pretty intense and will knock your settlers right out. And if you want to help with that, if you want to make your settlers kind of mostly disease-proof, build lots of endurance training plots. Okay, good. You super mutants, you fight those synths. And we'll sneak on by. I mean, I kind of wanted a rematch with those super mutants, but I don't trust myself in combat that much. Especially when I only got 7 stim packs. I mean, I need like 12 stim packs per battle here. Okay, well now I want to...
I'm gonna be sick.
I don't want these guys messing with us during our scene with Aiden. I think I heard a raider talking. Oh, it's a settler.
Why can't this just be over?
Alright, we'll help you out, buddy. Hello.
Alright.
Oh,
Still in one piece.
What do you got for us, buddy? How about you? Oh, you got a stim pack. Winner. Alright, what do you got for me?
Out here, you gotta take things one day at a time.
Nothing? No present? No purified water even? Just no acknowledgement whatsoever. So I feel like I've mentioned this. Maybe I haven't mentioned it on the stream yet because I haven't done this yet. Maybe I've just talked about it so many times with team. I love it. So for those of you guys who play Conqueror, this was an accidental moment. So in Conqueror, there's a time when you come up here and Aiden ambushes you. And I don't know if, because Sag is the guy who implemented this quest. I don't know if he even remembered that. Maybe he did, and it was an intentional throwback to it. And he's even wearing the outfit from Conqueror. So this is just a perfect moment right here for Aiden, for the people who had played Conqueror. Because usually you would come here in Conqueror, you come through here, and it goes to a cutscene where you get rifled in the back of the head by Aiden.
Hey there.
Good. You're here. Done my best to lay low. But the longer we stay out here, the more likely we'll tip off the gunners that something's about to go down. So, you ready to do this?
Once we get in, what's the plan?
Jim Simon, can you drop a disease cure down cellar, pick it up? Not currently. I had at one point in our beta testing before we released, we had the trading the disease cure working. I don't know how it broke. I'm assuming I probably rolled back a piece of code by mistake, and that was working with that, and I just need to restore it again.
Ready.
Did King Gav mention when the next patch would be? It'll be next Friday, so or not in 2 days, but the Friday after that. We're on our bi-weekly patch schedule now. So
I guess that's
barring any real life stuff where like I've got to
how do you want to do this?
I'm not going to be
plan?
around my computer on a Friday. It'll be every other Friday you'll get a patch, and then occasionally, you'll get hotfixes in between, like we did with 2.01, where I forgot to include something important that was part of the patch, or we introduced some new deadly bug or something, then I'll hotfix as necessary.
Should we try and avoid killing anyone?
That's up to you. Personally, I'd be happy to slaughter every gunner we come across. But if we give ourselves away too soon, cause too much chaos too quickly, we might just get ourselves killed.
Let's try to keep this civil.
Caution and discretion. Understood. Let's move out.
All right, let's go. So there's a change that I've got on my notes for an enhancement I want to add to this. For those of you guys who have played through this whole quest with the stealth route, there's when you give up your weapons and everything, there's a moment after after you're done talking to Algernon where Aiden steps up and says, "Let's kill this gunner trash." I want him to pull out what's that pistol you get in the mod that's not the 10mm. It looks like a stealthy little silenced pistol. I can't remember what it is. The Deliverer, I think it's called. I want to give him one of those so it looks like he managed to sneak in a pistol. I think that will make him way more badass in that moment. Load screen. I should have saved before here in case I screw up the chat or the options. What are they called? The dialogue options.
Whoa there, hold it. You're new conscripts, right? You're late. Hey.
Not late.
You look familiar.
On time.
You been assigned here before?
No, sir. First time here.
That's right. I'm one of the new recruits.
Fresh from the plaza, huh? Captain West is sure getting real sloppy training you newbies. I'm Sergeant Wise, and you won't be reporting to me. So, unless you want to polish my boots, you're dismissed.
Screw it, you die.
So, what do you do here?
I serve under Captain Algernon. He may technically be retired.
Our voice director, Kobus, has asked me if I would change up my whole playthrough and just be the guy who does the B option to everything, because he knows not a lot of people get to see those lines, because most players, the default is, I'm going to be nice and see what happens.
But, rank as soon as we spoke.
So it would be a fun way to see many of the dialogue options that have been recorded that few
which
players will ever
officer okayed your entry into the Gunners?
Okay, you got me.
I'm afraid that information's classified, sir. If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Uh-huh. Nice try. But I'm not buying it. You're no new conscript. Wait. I recognize you. Yeah. I saw you in Diamond City. Oh, I see. It's all falling into place now. You're here for that guy we captured. You must be his partner, the one he wouldn't shut up about. Well, sorry to disappoint, but you'll have to leave empty-handed. That guy stays here. Orders of Captain Algernon.
Where is Jake?
Whoa, you're scarier than Algernon. Look, I'll tell you what you want to know, okay?
He was so scared he couldn't
lay
make
off
eye
me.
contact. He had to look at the floor for a
I'll
minute.
answer some questions and let you pass without raising the alarm. But that's it. Rest of the security you'll have to deal with. So, what do you want to know?
Is there any way to get past all the security?
You'll need the right access cards to
Alright, passing
override the
those
security
checks.
locks. Check around the vault for the right cards. But don't expect the gunners down there to make the task simple.
How did you find us?
That hub device you had, it really did a number on our comms. Our leader, Wes, became determined to track it down and bring in whoever was
Oh,
responsible.
TV Tantrum's back
But
with the
Captain Algernon
massive
had other
donations.
ideas.
Thank you, man.
He tasked
Just
me
saying
and Emma to
hi,
find the
TV
device
says.
before
For those of you
Wes.
who weren't here for last
Bring it
stream,
and its
TV
owner to him
Tantrum
instead.
just pummeled us
We
with
followed
huge
a lot of
donations.
leads, but we finally
Thank
struck
you so
gold
much.
with an information broker.
Jim Simon, thank you again
told us
for another
everything we
donation.
needed to know.
I wish there was a way to know what dialogue choice was going to progress the conversation versus the ones that add info or flair to the conversation. Yeah, I think that's one of the things I think extended dialogue interface handles. Like, I think it detects if there's a loop in the thing. That would be a nice feature if they added that, like some little visual that should be on the default thing. Hopefully Bethesda has learned from their mistakes for their next game as far as making a better dialogue. Because I actually don't mind the dialogue wheel. I think it's actually really smart, and you can actually get, it's no problem to get more than 4 options. You just have to have one of your options be more options. But yeah, having something like that would be pretty clutch. We try to follow the pattern Bethesda does. Like, Bethesda's basic pattern for that is if you push the Y option, the top option there, whatever it is on PC, that it gives you the questions that those tend to loop back, and then the other 3 options don't. And we try to follow that pattern as much as possible.
Is there any way to get past all the security?
You'll need the right access cards to override the security locks. Check around the vault for the right cards. But don't expect the gunners down there to make the task simple.
Where is he?
The guy we took? Lower
TV
levels.
Tantrum again.
Captain Algernon has
Who
him
is
in
the
old
guest today?
overseer's office.
The guest today is Sirlach. Sirlach is I call him the Team Wolf, and if you know, for those of you guys who are Quentin Tarantino fans, you'll know what I mean by the Wolf. And he does a little bit of everything on the team. He's been in charge of a lot of different projects, and he'll be joining us probably after we finish this quest, because this is going to take a little while still. A lot of dialogue stuff to go through.
Is there any way to get past all the security?
Dios, thank you for
You'll
the
need the right
donation.
access cards to
Love this
override
mod.
the security locks. Check around the vault for the right cards.
Thank you everybody for donating. You guys are awesome. It's gonna these streams are paying the server costs like nobody's business, which means we're gonna have some surplus this month. So some lucky team members probably gonna get a hardware upgrade. Let's see here.
That's all I needed to know.
All right, good. Now, if it's all the same to you, I'm out of here.
Oh, I wonder if I have it high enough. What's my charisma? Let's see. I don't remember. Prid 14, get value. I wonder if we can recruit him. 9, I might be able to. I think you need a 10. Ah, damn it.
I'd like to avoid any unnecessary violence.
I got an idea. Why don't you take the uniforms I was holding for the new conscripts? You both already hold yourselves like soldiers. It's why I mistook you for the new recruits when you entered. If you were wearing uniforms, you'd blend right in. But you'd have to leave your weapons here. You're too heavily armed. It would raise suspicion. Here, these should fit you well enough.
Okay, let's try it. Let's try the join with me.
You need to stop working for the enemy and come work with us.
Come again?
Aha, I got it.
You want me to work
I think it's something like
I won't
it's a
pretend
really
I'm not
easy,
intrigued,
like if you
but
have a 9 or
now's not really a
10
good
charisma,
time.
I think it's guaranteed on the
Tell
hard
you
checks,
what,
and if you have
if
9,
you
I think it's like
survive,
a
whatever
1%
it is
chance.
you plan to do
I don't
here,
know exactly. I haven't
then
looked
I'll
into how the
contact
math
you
works.
at
I actually
some
don't think it's
point,
actually
okay?
exposed in the
Now,
thing. I think people have
that
just
all?
kind of figured it out from playing the game a lot. Oh, that's weird that the low profile came back. All right.
Thanks for your help.
Oh, you're welcome, I guess. I get the feeling things are about to take a left turn around here. So, I'm gonna take my leave while I still can. Best of luck.
Okay, so now let's save in case. So this part of the quest gets super janky sometimes. Like I've done playthroughs where I'm 100% certain I've like traced through the quest, step by step, stage by stage, and nothing is going wrong as far as I can see. And then totally wacky things will happen that cause the NPCs to just go hostile. It's really irritating. So I'm sure some of you have experienced it too, where all of a sudden you're just in combat in here, even though you went the stealthy route. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Let's put away our weapons. I don't even have. I think if you have a certain rank of. Wait, why didn't you put your? Oh, I didn't put my outfit on. I was like, why didn't you put yours on? I didn't put mine on. If you have a certain rank of, there he goes, instant change. He's magical, just like us. If you have a certain rank of sneak, I think it lets you stealth a weapon in, and you just keeps like a random melee weapon or something in your inventory. But I don't even think I have any melee weapons, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Nice little setup. Security's a little lax, though.
My shift's over. New conscripts, huh? Hang on, I'll open the elevator for you.
Don't mind that we have a dog. Actually, I'm gonna leave dog meat up here. I don't want him messing up a quest scene. Dog meat,
hey,
wait here.
Wait there.
Thank you. Wait, there's our girlfriend. He was stuck on Aiden.
Guess we won't be needing those passcodes.
Captain Algernon's really been riding my ass lately.
Oh, he already opened it. I was waiting for him to say something, and he didn't. Instead, he said, Captain Algernon's riding my ass. That's fair.
Going down.
Yeah, that's the rare time when a temporary companion NPC makes it into the elevator.
This is Captain Algernon. The base is to remain on semi-lockdown. All units stay on high alert. Movement between levels will be restricted until further notice.
Gotta find the car.
Whilst our guest is in our custody, these conditions will continue to remain in effect. That is all.
I think our use of PA systems is one of my favorite parts of Chapter 2.
All right. Let's work our way down and look for signs of your partner along the way. The Gunners have outposts and compounds like this all over the Commonwealth. This is the largest I've been in.
And I'll see if this place is a maze. So like if you guys get irritated about the keycard and stuff, those are vanilla. We didn't put those in. Those are just like we just integrated them into our quest. But like this place is just hard to make your way around. Oh, yeah, give me those stim packs. I think it's through this door. Oops. I don't want to talk to Aiden. Or is this the way to get? No, that's the other door, which we don't have the card for. Maybe I'm going the way to the other card. I don't remember. We'll figure it out. Let's see here. But I just remember this place is quite the maze. Give me those bullets. And your stim packs. Here it is. Yep, we're going the right way. But we gotta hit all these lockers because we need. Well, I'm treating the bullets to me. I mean, some of them I'm using obviously, but almost as much about free. Oh, and here's how we get a gun. We can sneak. Nobody. You can actually just take one of these and nobody cares. So we're gonna go ahead and grab that. Aiden, take that. Actually, can I trade? Well, let me trade with him.
Hi.
No. And he's not a real companion. I can't make him grab it. Grab that pistol. Don't be a jerk.
Huh. Would you look at that?
I guess I should, yeah, I'm not going to risk equipping it. I don't remember if we have it set up to respond to you accidentally pulling out a weapon, but fortunately we got the magical, Pip-Boy paws.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? Conscripts aren't allowed up here. I need to report this.
Whoa, her left ear was funky looking.
I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
Or her right ear. Look at that. What is going on there? Look at the texture is like offset a whole bunch.
Back off. It's none of your concern.
Know what? I don't need this today. Just get out of here.
And then we're just going to borrow that.
Looks like that's the card we need.
There we go.
Up for a little target practice?
You've done surprisingly well.
Ooh, that's
so far.
Up close.
You know, I didn't actually
conversation there,
think...
Aiden.
Never mind. We should keep moving.
Yeah, the other earbug I've seen a lot of is sometimes you'll get like, and old Paul used to have this happen all the time in Let's Plays I would watch, and I've never had it happen to me. When you get like spiky ear, it's another one I see, and a lot of earbugs in this game.
If you have something to say, I'm listening.
When I suggested we come here to look for your partner, I didn't actually think he'd be here. I thought there was a chance, but
this scene,
what I'm trying to
this
say
scene
is,
made me fall in love with Aiden.
I led
So
you
this
on,
scene, this is an interesting one. This
least
one
in
so Aiden
But
is a character from Conqueror.
I
was
see
written
now
by
that was
Super Weevil. He's
unnecessary.
another one of our well, he was on the team. He's kind of on the team still. He's just like inactive. And I've told the story of why Conqueror kind of derailed. But I wanted to incorporate Aiden into chapter 2 because we had a nice opening for a character with his backstory. And I'm glad we did, but I remember it was a tough sell, and in the sense of like to both Sirlach and Super Weevil, I think in certain parts, because they each had different visions of the character. And I remember this conversation, Sirlach really wanted to put in there and make sure that players who are charisma people wanted to have an opportunity to talk to Aiden and learn more about him and start to see that he's not just this monotone dickhead, that he's got some depth to him. And Super Weevil was kind of pushing back on it, and I think we came to the agreement of like, okay, well, we'll put anything where Aiden says too much, where he's too talky, because he's meant to be kind of short and to the point, that it would always be behind a speech check, and that's kind of how we've done Aiden now. So for those of you guys who think Aiden is irredeemable, you probably aren't playing a high charisma character. Jason Lockrance, thank you for another donation. I think you made multiple here, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I've made my peace that Jammer won't be able to return, but I need more Ophelia in my life, not gonna lie. Well, Ophelia is actually the hardest one to get back. Ophelia is one of the, I think we could convince Jammer's voice actor to come back, but she is I don't know that she's doing this anymore. So that's one of the reasons that we haven't, been able to finish the Conqueror story. But we'll see. I mean, things can change over time. But that's one of like my end game goals for Fallout 4 is like I want to finish the Conqueror story, because we were so close. For those of you guys who were following Conqueror development, we did we content patches, we call them CP. I think we did like 4 or 5 of them, and each of them had 3 quests. They're like a little 3-quest arc, and we only had 2 more of those to do to get the story complete. So we had it all outlined out, and so it was such a bummer that we didn't get to finish. Patriot of the West, thank you for the donation. Community city plans that use settlements expanded. I don't know if there are any. There were for SS1. I don't know if there are any for SS2 or not. I think people have recognized that city plans are pretty tough on people's systems, so they tend to keep them a little bit reined in. All right, let's get back to the quest, and I'm going to have a brief moment of silence so that, actually, you know what? I'm going to do a loud clap. Everybody cover your ears. I'm about to clap really loud because this will help Luke, our editor, find the spot. All right.
There's more to this, isn't there?
It's like this. I like to upset the gunners. I sabotage their supply lines, disrupt operations, and if the opportunity presents itself, kill as many as I can. But it's been getting harder and harder. Somehow they keep getting better equipped, better organized. When I overheard that broker, I saw an opportunity. You wanted to find your partner, and I wanted these gunners dead. I didn't lie to you. I just didn't really think Jake would be here.
All right, let's see if we can pass this final speech
Anything
check.
else I should know?
Back at the hardware store, I already had a pretty good idea who'd taken Jake. I didn't know for sure, but I suspected. I didn't say anything, because I wanted to see if you could figure it out for yourself.
I appreciate you telling me all of this. I know it's difficult.
You're taking this a lot better than I thought you would. I've gotten used to working by myself, keeping things to myself. But I'm starting to remember what it's like having someone watch your back. So now that we know he's here for sure, I fully intend to help you find Jake. And I'll worry about the gunners here later. Okay, that's enough fraternizing. Let's move out.
TV Tantrum, come on, man. You're giving away like people's month's payroll on this channel. Thank you so much, though, seriously. And TV Tantrum says, just wanted to give another huge thank you to you and everyone working on the mod. I love these streams because it allows us to see other members and hear their work and stories, doing such great work. Yeah, I'm so happy to be able to share stories of people who worked on this mod. And I'm glad that some of them have agreed to come on and talk. I know it's not everybody's jam. Not everybody on the team is up for that, for coming on themselves. But But yeah, this is not a one-man show. This is not a one-man show at all. Let's see here. Now we get to go back through the maze and find our way up, and hopefully find some more stim packs on the way, so that I don't have to barter for them. Let's see here. Nope, that's back the way we came. Oh man, I'm just walking back and forth. I'm the worst at navigating this level. So you all are not alone if you get stuck wondering how the hell you're supposed to make your way around this place.
Nice.
There we go. Okay, then this is probably the one where we find out.
Have to find the card.
And then we should get a quest objective pointing us in the general direction of it. Alright. Wait, is this? Hey, there he is. Okay, that's a guy I know is coming. All right, we're gonna save again. I want to make sure that we don't get the what do you call it? The cutscene that's coming up to bug out. I've yet to see anybody play it on stream and not bug out, which is mind blowing because it's such a complicated scene. But we did put an extraordinary amount of time.
What are you doing
testing that one?
How'd you get past the security door? We're on lockdown. Only select individuals are meant to have access to cards.
Maintenance, nice.
Just making a routine inspection. You know the drill.
Oh, right. I didn't realize.
My armor looks nothing like Gunner's because it all happened to work on top of the Gunner
Okay.
uniform. That's funny.
Go ahead and do what you need to do. Sorry, sir. Won't happen again, sir.
Is that correct? Sir Rick, I know you're watching. Is that correct? Is he supposed to salute to you and say, sorry, it won't happen again, sir? That feels like maybe we've got some conditioning issues with the dialogue. Thank you for the... don't mind me. Just routine inspection of your stim packs. I'm gonna test these out. Make sure they have safe needles. Hello. Yes.
Excellent.
That should be the last one we need.
Indeed. I don't know why I just took that desk down. Oh, I need the screws. That's right. Take those for weapon modding because I did put perk in the gun nut, and I've been thinking about getting rank 2. So yeah, so we must have a dialogue condition mismatch there I gotta fix. I don't think that. I think that it probably like flowed one into the other, my mistake. These the dialogue trees in here when we got all these perk checks and stuff get super complicated. But at least it didn't break. That's the important part. I'm okay with an extra dialogue line here or there. Rather have that than the thing fall apart. And now we get lost again. That's one of the things that actually looting everything helps with is you're like, well, there's no loot around here, so I must have been through. I must have come through here. Hey, is that a stim pack? Yes, it is. Back through here, I think. Oh, well, I got a map marker. What am I doing? Why am I not looking at that? Hey, ammo containers. Free money. Yeah, I just live in. Ooh, that's ugly. We need to fix that. And you know what's funny is this is that. I don't know if maybe that's an issue with our previous generation, but this is actually just a clone of the Vault 75 cell. So either Bethesda has this too, or our previous generation failed and caused that to happen because we didn't edit the look at or like the design of the place at all. All right, let's do a little save. So pre cutscene. So if this thing borks, we can roll back. Oh, I guess I saved a little too soon. That's okay. Don't mind us. I'm just going to...
Hold up. I hear something ahead.
That's enough. What's going on here? I gave permission to question him, not to tie him up and beat him senseless.
I don't need your permission, old man. I got commands directly from Captain Wes. Last I checked, he was the one leading the gunners now. I'm gonna ask nicely one more time. That computer thing we found in your store, what is it? Some kind of radio machine? Can we use it to boost our comms?
That's not what it's designed to do.
I didn't ask what it was designed to do. What the hell are you doing? You could have fucking killed me.
I said enough. Wes may lead the gunners, but here, I'm in charge. And this is my prisoner.
But Wes ordered me to...
Don't talk to me about orders, Berman. You broke the chain of command, defied my orders. That comm computer was meant to be brought here with the prisoner.
I was just...
You're dismissed, Corporal.
You can't talk to me like...
Dismissed.
You'll regret this, old man.
I'm sorry about that, Evans. You hurt badly? Right. Let me see if I can find some Med-X or something.
There we go. Played out perfectly. So if there's the only reason I can think that it would break for folks, one would be if you have dialogue cam off, it's just not going to work at all. It's going to play terribly. So if you have dialogue camera disabled, that'll definitely break for you. The other thing I can think of is if something was editing furniture markers or something, or editing some of our NPCs. I would love to know if there's a mod out there clicking this, because we put so much effort into this, and that's supposed to be like, you know, the big reveal moment of it kind of sets the stage for the divide in the gunners. You feel bad for Jake, you know, especially for people who, you know, played chapter 1 when it came out over a year ago. Like, this is supposed to be a big moment, so I would love to find if there's mods conflicting, that's what I would assume is happening to like what you're having happen, Lauren, with the Jake just standing in the chair. There's probably some mod conflict that's causing issues. My best guess would be a mod that was patching some of our NPCs. Like, I know there's what's the mod, Pack Attack? PNC, is that what it's called? Pack Attack. I think that's one of them that had a patch out that was out of date for a while, and that caused a bunch of our updates to the characters not to work. So I'm imagining there's other patches like that are causing issues, but it could also be, you know, something. The thing is for our characters and like even our furniture markers. So like that chair that Jake's in, we rarely use vanilla objects. We usually create our own copies just so that there's less chance of a mod conflict, but hard to say. All right, let's go in.
Slick! Oh, am I glad to see you.
Jake's got 360-degree vision.
You know these people? They friends of yours?
This is my partner. The one I told you about. And the other one is, well, someone I didn't expect to see again.
Aiden McTavish, ex-Minuteman.
How'd you get past security? What happened to the man stationed outside?
They're all still there.
You should be grateful. Would have been easier to just shoot our way to you.
Hey, Algernon, right? Look, we never meant to interfere with the gunners. This is all a big misunderstanding. There's no reason for this to escalate any further, so just let me go, okay? We can all just walk away from this.
I went to great lengths to bring you here. I can't let you go, or your friends.
So, all you guys who love Jake, little, it's not a surprise, like I already mentioned it last stream, but I'll mention it again. Tom Schalk, I think that's how you say his last name, the voice actor Jake, will be my guest next week, next Wednesday. So if you want to hear Jake's voice actor, I'm sure we'll convince him to say some lines. Maybe that'll be, I think I joked about this in the past, but maybe I'll work with him and see if we can do like a charity stream where people can do super chats, and we'll get Jake to say stuff for people for charity. Maybe he'll be in for that. I gotta ask him. I gotta stop saying that without talking to him first. But yeah,
you want to talk? Let's talk.
I can't promise that part, but I can promise he's going to be here, and we'll have a good chat about what it's like to voice Jake.
We're under the command of a man named Wes, and currently, Wes has us contracted with some unnamed benefactor. By following the directions of this mysterious employer, we've become very powerful. But they've pushed us down some questionable avenues, forced us to compromise old traditions and values.
Who is they?
I don't know. Only Captain Wes has been privy to who they really are. But we've been working for them for many years. The gunners you see today are mostly a result of their influence.
What kind of compromises?
Honor, integrity.
I kind of wish I had started.
Believe it or not, these were once values
stream of like playing the mod
every gunner.
a lot sooner, because now I know so much of what's coming in Chapter 3. Like I have to like bite my tongue to not talk about it.
With expansion and control. If you need an example to where that's led us, you need only look to Quincy.
Please, go on.
With our employer's backing, the Gunners have become a force to be reckoned with.
Every time I hear a character say something from the trailer, I get that. He said the line. He said the line.
But there's always been a
like when
hard
people get all
limit to
excited
how
when
much
they
we
say the
can
title of a
actually
movie in the
hold and
movie.
control.
Because you lacked reliable communications. That's what held you back, isn't it? That's what this is all about.
That's right.
And now the Gunners have their hands on the comm hub.
I'm gonna remove your restraints. Hold still.
If you guys ever see that ... and wonder why we do that a lot in our dialogue, it's usually because we're trying to force the camera to do something, because you can only control the camera if someone has a dialogue line. And sometimes we don't have anything for it to say, but we found a hack. You can put a blank, like a silent line that just has, you know, even we could have put a single period in, but I think we've just decided ellipses looks nicer. You do that so we can make the camera
kill
do
this
stuff.
gunner
See right
trash
there,
and get
that's
out
the
of here.
moment where if Aiden pulled out the deliverer,
Hold on a minute.
after you assumed he had no weapon, it would look
What do you
really
mean,
awesome.
no?
Slick, I need you to trust me here. Don't start a fight with this guy. Let's just listen to what he has to say. Please.
All right, I'll hear him out.
You're making the right call. So, Algernon, if you don't mind my asking, what exactly do the Gunners want with the comm hub?
You already figured it out. Better communications. With something like your hub, the Gunners would
Any of
be
you who
virtually
wants
unstoppable.
Algernon's power armor, it's available
But
as a mod
you're
on
a
Nexus
gunner
already.
too,
You can grab it right,
right?
now.
Why would you want to
I don't know
stop
if anybody
it?
has a link handy. It's
Not all
by
Gunners agree with the
Jumba, I
path
think.
we've taken.
I think it's called Combat
Some of
Power
us
Armor.
have tried
It's
to
an old,
push
it's actually an
back.
old mod.
The West refuses
The only thing we
to
did is
listen.
we
best I've
upgraded
been
it
able
to
to do
use
is slow him
the 2K textures, and we actually, I think in SS2 Extended it uses the 4K textures because the shoulders and neck you can see are pretty rough, and they look even rougher before we on the original version of this mod. So we upgraded the textures a little bit, and then I think we fixed some issues with some like clipping and stuff, but mostly it's that mod as is. That was very kind of Tumba to let us use that.
That's why they took you.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's why you ordered your men to bring me in the comm hub here.
There we go. Looks like Sirlach to the rescue with a
Right,
link.
but I was betrayed. Whilst Wise was bringing you here, Berman delivered the hub to Wes instead.
What a scumbag.
I love it.
Guess
That's
things
all
didn't exactly
from the
go as you
player.
planned. Do you have any idea where Berman might have taken the hub?
Most likely to a hidden safe house, but I don't know which. All I do know is that it's only a matter of time before Wes learns how to use your hub. And once he does, the entire Commonwealth will be vulnerable to Gunner conquest.
Wait, Carvok,
I
you
don't
can put
wanna see
strong
that
in
happen.
power armor?
So,
That's
I'm
amazing.
gonna help you find your hub and get it back.
Why should I trust you?
The last thing I want to see is a subjugated Commonwealth, especially at the hands of the Gunners. If I could, I'd attempt to reform them, but current circumstances dictate a more direct course of action. I'll do what I have to, even if it means turning on Wes.
You help me and I'll help you.
I'll reach out to those I trust within the Gunners. Some may know where Berman is hiding your hub. I'll need to act fast. Wes was already suspicious. After this, I doubt I'll hold my position for long.
Wait, before you go, how will we know when you find something out?
As soon as I know anything, I'll be in contact. But in the meantime, you should return to Concord. I sent one of my people back there, a technician. Find her and give her these orders. She'll help you. I'm sorry we had to meet like this, but I hope you can understand why. You'll hear from me again soon.
Well,
Oh, hey,
gotta
he
say,
actually walked away that time. I've
sure are a sight for
done
sore
playthroughs
eyes.
myself and watched other people do plays where
How'd you
Algernon
even
just stands
find
there
me?
the whole time very awkwardly.
After I got grabbed, I figured... Well, never mind what I figured. Thanks for coming to get me. It means a lot.
Uh-oh. Do I do it, guys? I feel like I have to. What do you think? What's the vote, people? There, we'll do a I know Zurich's gonna say do it. We can create a poll. Let's ask your community. Yes, no. Here we go. I just posted a poll. It's just yes or no. How long do these? I've never used this poll in live stream. This is fun. Do you guys see it, or am I crazy? Like it says, there it goes. Yes, yes, yes. Immediately jumps to 90%. Oh, 78%. Let's see, where's it gonna end up? Collect all the hot boys. Yeah, I figure this is gonna have to happen. All right, so Rick, do you remember? Can I say? I can't even risk it though. Can I safely ask you okay, or will it loop me back? 74%. TV Tantrum with another. Oh my God! Thank you so much, man, for another donation. A big yes from TV Tantrum. Everyone wants Jake. Whisper. Oh man, we're all a bunch of pervs. Rester says, "Yeah, we got to go for it." Okay. I mean, I can't guarantee that I'm gonna end up using this save file like when Chapter 3 comes out. So we'll see. Like, hopefully the save survives. That'll be a nice testament to the strength of the game and our ability to keep patches going good. All right, here we go.
You mean a lot to me too.
Oh, I didn't quite mean like that, but thanks.
That Aiden interruption is so good.
What are you even doing here? You decided to come blame me for even more things the Gunners have done?
I swear I've been sick on the
since you
stream
brought
more
it
than
up,
not. I've got another
you
cold
could
coming on.
be blamed
It's
for giving
ridiculous.
the
This is what happens when you
comm
get
up to
kids
the
in here.
Gunners.
They're just bringing new diseases every day.
They took it. Why would you even... Oh, you are one aggravating little...
If that guy hadn't stolen my gun, I'd...
Calm down.
Well, my work here is done. I'm gonna shadow our new friend. Call me crazy, but I'm not about to take the good Captain Algernon at his word. I'll check in with you once I have anything.
Plot twist. TV Tantrum stole my credit card.
Whoa, wait a minute. Is that Aiden guy helping us now?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Well, this day just gets better and better, don't it? Come on, let's head back to the hardware store. Clear out any gunners still there.
Oh, I love this little animation. I'm so glad Neher did this.
This should do nicely.
Yes.
All right, let's get going.
Oh, I guess I was wrong. This is, you actually get to do the next quest after this too, but we're gonna not do that. We're gonna pause. But I guess I guess I can just Jake will be with us in the settlement. That's fine. It doesn't break. Shouldn't cause a problem. I guess it'll be a good test. I want to make sure after I grab my gear, I'm going to save again before we leave in case bringing him with me there causes some sort of bug that next time. Oh god, no, I'm lost again. All right, let's try jumping down. Yeah, this feels right. And here we go, elevator.
Going up. Ground floor.
Yeah, I was like forgetting where the box is, but it's got a quest objective, thankfully. Alright, get all our stuff back. We will let's go ahead and set all this up here. I don't need you favorited. No, wait, I want the... Oh wait, did it save all my hotkeys? Is the game that smart? Wow, that's awesome. I was kind of worried about that whenever we do that, whenever we take away weapons or ask player to put on weapons, I was like, oh, it's gonna mess up people's hotkeys, but the game's smart enough about it. Okay, so now we're gonna do, well, first of all, I'm gonna equip a weapon because I'm gonna forget otherwise. Now let's get our, there we go. All right, let's save here, and then we're gonna zap in Sirlach in just a moment. Save LP day 9, end of session. There we go. All right, now we're gonna COC Sanctuary Exterior. Oh, I just forgot dog meat. You're right. I'm literally gonna reload, grab dog meat, and then do the CO, and then save again, because otherwise I'm gonna forget, and dog meat will forever be locked away in Vault 75. Okay, let's reload. We cannot risk losing our dog. Gotta get our dog meat. I think I still have him labeled as dog. I don't think I went far enough in the quest to get his name. Where are you, buddy? Oh, you're just laying all... Oh, that's great. I've never seen that before. I'm just laying waiting.
Come on.
Let's go. Okay, now we can save again. All right. Save. Yes, overwrite. Okay. Now we repeat our command. All right, let's ring in Sirlach. So we're about to go full-blown talk mode. So I'm going to put us in Sanctuary. That way, if you guys have questions, I can about settlement stuff, I can show you. Otherwise, we're just going to be talking about chat and whatnot. Sirlach, I see you have a question for me about C3 stuff. You're going to have to ask me again, because now that I blocked her, or poking you on our chat, it's not going to be marked as unread anymore. All right, let's ring in Sirlach and see if I can get this working. And we're going to go set time scale 0.1. We got some nice weather, some nice daylight. Sirlach, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Whoa, you are loud. What do you guys think about? Let's do a volume check from everybody else and see if that's just me, or I might have it on really loud. I sometimes turn on other people's stuff really loud. What do you guys think? Sirlach, say a few things. We'll see if they think you're loud or if that was just me. Nope, I see loud. Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me change my
He's
settings.
a bleeding.
There's a bleeding, yeah. Let's see, voice and video. I've got your output volume not that high. All right, we're going to turn you down to 78%. Let's try this. All right, go ahead and say a couple other words.
My mic sounds nice. Check one.
All right, what do you guys think about that? That a little more reasonable? Was that you're talking like I don't want you to have to lower your voice the whole time. So like talk like your even conversational tone, and I'll adjust my volume to handle it.
How's this?
I've had word from a
Is that
settlement asking for
Yeah, I think
help.
it's better. No,
Still
get away
hoping
from me,
their
Preston.
Minutemen
I'm gonna have to
out there.
disable you again. I think I had to do this last time.
The only chance to start rebuilding the Minutemen.
I have to do that in
Show
testing
people
all the
they can
time.
count on.
Yeah, I've seen poor other people have to disable poor Jake because he comes at them, chases them across the world with his. So are you the one I've been looking for? All right, Sirlach, welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, amazing! Thank you for letting me come and be on your show.
My show. All right, so let's go over some of the stuff you've worked on. So you've been on the team for quite a while now, and I'm gonna forget some stuff you've done so much. But let's try some of the highlights. So right now you help manage the city plan contest. You've been doing that for a long time. I think you started
in the third year.
Yeah, you started. I think you started in that season 2, right? Like I think
towards the end of season 1.
Oh, towards the end of season 1. All right.
Yeah.
Because Hewitt used to help a lot with that, and then we brought you on to help with that
Hewitt
too.
was leading. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you did all of the holiday items, but I think you did stuff before this. But this is the first big project where I was just like, I just need somebody to take on this project, and you're like, I'll learn 3ds Max. I'll figure it out. So you went from knowing nothing about 3D modeling or anything, and like you didn't make all those models from scratch, but you still had to figure out how to get low poly versions working and get the textures working and get the collision figured out. So you learned all that to do the holiday projects. You pretty much single-handedly did the whole holiday project. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, most of our plots, depending on the in-game month, there's 4 holidays we ship with by default. We have support for more than that. What's my date right now? So it's November, so I won't have any holidays right now, but once it gets to December, like Christmassy stuff will start appearing on the commercial and residential plots, and you did all that. You came up with all the designs for those, put the placements on all the designs. It was quite a big project. It was pretty much, it took up a large portion of your, I wouldn't say the whole time, but it took up a large portion of your development time during chapter 1, right?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and we both thought that it would only take a couple of months, but yeah, there was a lot of. I mean, I had to build out all the designs, and I think we made the scope fairly sizable because we wanted to have a lot of variety. Yeah. And as with everything that we do, is we want to make, the add-on makers can add to it, and people have released holiday add-ons, which was I think some of the guys have released extra holidays as part of their add-on. So I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah, we knew that would be a popular feature and one that could be easily expanded, but we had to scope check ourselves. It was like we thought of there's so many holidays, and and there's a lot of, thanks to America's consumerism, there are a lot of holidays with lots of decorative objects involved in them. So very, very easy to, in fact, we have one of my neighbors has like an inflatable related to a holiday for every month of the year, like those big obnoxious inflatable things they put out on their porch. There's so many visual holiday things you can do from American holidays. So there was no shortage to choose from. So I think we opted for one per season. So we've got like Christmas is the winter holiday, Easter or spring. I think we went with springy. We didn't go Easter because we didn't want to go into the religious part of it. But we've got Easter for spring, 4th of July, right, for Independence Day for summer, and then Halloween for fall.
Remember it well.
Yeah.
All those flags, so many flags.
Yeah, I think that was the one you ended up. Ironically, you had to get for the custom assets. I think the most you had to add was for Fourth or for Independence Day. Like there were plenty for Christmas and I guess not. I think we added quite a few for all of them. But there were some available for a couple of the holidays already. Like in the
yeah, I mean Halloween was covered because it's in October and there's Halloween assets. Right. And there's a few Christmas assets, and we just expanded on those. But yeah, bunny rabbits and Easter eggs, and yeah, just trying to flesh out sort of Independence Day. That was a bit challenging, but there's 3D assets out there, and yeah, as you said, I struggle to create them, but I can work with them once I've got the meshes, because I'm getting better, but it's a complex piece of software and it takes a long time to scale up.
Well, and I mean and thank you to patrons for allowing us to do that project.
Thank you, patrons.
We were able to not have to dig into our pockets to pay for all those assets. So there's so many great 3D models out there, and a lot of them fit great. Like I'm pretty sure Bethesda bought assets for some of their Creation Club stuff, because there's like some very generic workshop items that still have the theme, because it's the art style of Fallout is based on basically like dirty Art Deco. So it's like there's a lot of great models that fit within the time period, and then you just add a little scuff to their textures, and boom, you got yourself a Fallout item. So it was easy to find some stuff that fit in real nicely, and then that we didn't have to bog down our 3D modeling team, because I
have a controversial opinion.
Okay, go ahead.
I was playing the Metro games over Christmas, and through like the early ones, like the ones done in 2013, 2014, and there's a few assets in there that I recognize. So I just wonder if some of them just came from a central pool somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some areas of Moscow definitely felt like some areas of, because Fallout was 2015, 2016. So
yeah.
And I'm sure if you, as we know, as a team, that when you're in a crunch, you just try and find the quickest way to get stuff out the door. So.
I mean, I think we're going to get to a point eventually where that's just the only way to make games. Like, it would be dumb to always reinvent the wheel, because we're getting to the pinnacle of like things are, especially now we're getting to photo scanning and stuff. Eventually it's got to get to the point where it's like, you do your hero assets, and maybe you do some inline filters like right in the game engine to like add your own flair and give it a custom feel. But for the most part, like the world assets, like it's going to get to a point where there's no reason to do them all by hand and do them all over again. It's just so much money. There's a video I watched on YouTube going over the cost of art assets. I think it was done by what's his name? One of the guys who does like all the Blender tutorials. He's really popular. He's got a huge library of tutorials and stuff. But I think he did a video breaking down the cost of assets, and like something as simple as like a taxi cab costs like $800 to create, between paying the artists for the work for it. And it's like, that's crazy money to keep reinventing the wheel for things, especially when you're doing a realistic game. But even with a lot of like fantasy stuff, and so many of the art styles now, like there's the the kind of like Warcrafty, I don't know how to, like almost, or like the Zelda style where it's like kind of cell shaded a little, or maybe not quite cell shaded with Warcraft, but that kind of cartoony look is like there's plenty of assets out there that could just easily be slightly retextured, and it would fit great in a bunch of different games.
Yeah, I definitely think we're heading that way, especially with the Unity store and things like that.
So let's talk about what else you did. So you did the holiday project. That was your chapter 1, your big thing. What else did you work on chapter 1? So the reason I call him the Wolf is because whenever I have a project that's in dire straits, like it's some project where it has nobody to handle it, or somebody else like real life kicked them in the butt and they just need someone to pick up the pieces, I call in Sirlach and like, hey, I got a new project I need you to clean up. And I think that has happened.
Clean up on aisle 7.
I feel like that's happened like at least 3 times now, where I was just like, this is kind of like, you're gonna have to learn a lot, and you're just like, all right, I'm on it. Just show me the ropes, and then you just kind of run with it, which is very, very helpful, because sometimes you just like on the team just need people who are just willing to like figure stuff out, because I can't do like, usually like that's my favorite part, is to figure stuff out, but I can only figure so many things out. I got a lot of stuff to do myself, but you're always a game for that. So what else did you work on in chapter 1? Or was that pretty much took up your whole time? I don't remember.
So super chats just come up at Jim Simon is asking, is the king as mean a boss as everyone else says? He seems like a nice guy. Love this team. I got a great story. My very first official job on the team was I was an alpha tester for Conqueror. And you know, I'm a bit, you know, you can tell by my name, I'm a little bit of an Anglophile, and so I was kind of wondering how to, you know, how do I refer to his royal personage, being Kinga? And I said to him one day in a team doing something, he said, "What do I call you?" and without any hesitation, he comes back and he said, "Just call me boss." So it's always been boss ever since that day. But no, King
I think
Gath
that was
is...
because I think I did that because of Jammer, because Jammer calls you boss. I don't think
I
don't think I've ever said that to anybody else. I think that was appropriate for the time.
No, we were crunching. I think we were doing daily updates at that point, and it was getting, you know, that we were trying to test stuff, and then there was new builds coming out, and it was pretty full on. But that were good times.
We've gone through some crazy testing cycle. Like I think I've changed my testing cycle dramatically since the start. Like at the alpha state of chapter 1, and actually at the end in Conqueror it started happening. I burned out 2 amazing people who are on our testing team. I don't think I didn't burn you out or you to quit, but I burned out a couple of really great testers who had been on the mod team since Industrial Revolution and like Conqueror. Because I was just throwing so much stuff so fast and furious. Like you said, it was like, I mean, there were some days I was putting out 2 builds because we had so much content we were trying to work through. So thank you for not being one of the people who
we
I
had
burned
a team
out.
of semi-retirees who were stapled to their keyboards, and but we got there. It was
they were the 2 that couldn't that I think they had enough of King Gath after that. Thank you for sticking around. So you started out with that, and then all right, so back to my question is, what else did you work on in chapter 1? You recall? I'm sure you recall. I'd lose track because there's so much stuff in here that you've touched.
Chapter 1, I did model edits on some of the plots. We had when you originally did some of the farm plots, we had the underhang. So
that's right, yeah.
Because we basically put half a mountain in there and used that as the top. But it cut through the I think it's cut through some of the foundations. So the plan was to just replace it with just rocks on the top without having the underlying model. So I went through and
while you're talking about that.
Yeah, so I redid all the farms. That was one of my jobs for, but that was after, you know, that was way post release. That was just one of your
just
I think it was on
patch
your
project.
picks up list. And then you know, we looked at bigger projects and holidays and some of the other stuff for SS2 chapter 1, as it is now known. And then Beanie Love had a question that was it intimidating to learn 3D Max software? I'm an IT guy. I'm very technical. I love learning software. I love learning things. But 3ds Max almost broke me. It's not like you look at Photoshop these days, and you know, and Premiere and all the big technical creative pieces of software, they've all been UI'd. You know, they've had UI engineers working on them, and they're a lot more accessible, and there's a lot less clicks to do things now. But we are forced to use 3ds Max 2013 or 2014 because of reasons, and it's a very, like, there's a bunch of very intelligent engineers sat around and designed a 3D modeling software. This is what you get. So it's very technical. It's incredibly powerful, but it's very hard to uncover that power. And I almost broke at one stage. I almost like threw the computer out the window and said, I can't do this. But I bought the 3ds Max 2013 Bible, and it's got a couple of good sections. It's still a heavy Autodesk written book, but you know, it explained it to me. There's some videos out there, but you have to sort of wade through them. But the book helped me, and I just got some of the foundations that I needed to do. But yeah, if you try and learn everything at once, it will overwhelm you. But if you just pick one simple task like build a mesh, and then learn how to do that. Also, who's the guy that is it the Rizzler? What's his name? The Fallout modder who does the weapons. He's got
the weapon tutorials. Yeah, that was the Rizzler.
Yeah, his pistol tutorial is fantastic because you just go through step by step, and you do have to know a bit about 3ds Max, but you can follow it and learn. And obviously, Kingas intro ones as well. I mean,
I think all I did was showed collision, right? That's the only thing I did.
Yeah, no, but that was enough to give me the basics for me to go on. So if you can make it through, I mean, your tutorials are the best, boss.
Thank you. My tutorials are born of hating most other people's tutorials. And funny enough, though, I think a lot of people hate my style because I'm a rambler. So I'll give so much information, but that's how I like my tutorials. I don't want just step by step, because if you just teach me step by step, I'm not learning anything. I'm learning how to repeat, monkey see, monkey do exactly what you did. Whereas people who tell me why I'm doing it all, then I am actually learning. So that's how I do my tutorials, and some people love them and some people hate them.
Yeah, no, and I think we're moving towards more task-based stuff. I mean, everything you do nowadays is, how do I do that again? Type it into Google. Okay, find the video.
Right.
Okay,
yeah, that's what people want. They're just I need this specific thing. Give me the shortest possible video to teach me. Yeah,
how do I tie my shoes again?
Yeah, I get it. I'm annoyed. I'm okay, and I don't need the intro. Just show me the thing. I get where they're coming from, but that's just not the style I do.
Yeah, and I mean, apparently Starfield. I know I'm not supposed to talk about Starfield, but Starfield.
We can talk about Starfield. That's fine.
Starfield is the rumor is that's Maya, and Maya is a lot more user friendly these days. So hopefully, if we get to mod that, it'll be a new world of 3D-ness.
I think 3ds Max, like you said, 3ds Max was written for architects and engineers, but it was one of the only things available. And then I think then Maya came in and kind of gave it the artist's approach.
It was designed to do real estate. It was designed to do real estate flyovers. I think I know someone who used to work for, and it was designed to do here's a building we've built and here's a 3D render of it. But,
right. So this is the one of the projects you took on. So anybody who played SS1, this is the mud farm. You'll remember that it used to go a mile into the ground. And that was before we had, because I made that when I was first starting, and I was just I need a way to make sure that these will conform to the ground. And so I created these giant mud things that go into the ground. But then after watching a lot of people play SS1, I'd see them building plots into the sky, and then we came up with the terraformers in between there, and so then it was one of Sirlach's projects was to eliminate the giant thing on the mud farm, and then I think there was another one. It was an industrial one too. So you had to not only
we had to
rejig the models, but then update all the building plans as well.
We had some concrete Z fighting because we took one end of a pipe and we inappropriately meshed it up with another end of the pipe, and it was I mean, you couldn't it was one of those things you couldn't see unless you were looking at it from an easterly direction, standing in a bucket of water. Or something.
But still, anytime I see that Z fighting, I want it to die in a fire. It's so irritating.
Yeah, no, there's a few things that you're intolerant of, and Z fighting is one.
Yeah, Z fighting is definitely one of them. And there's still some in the mod. Like we just saw some in Vault 75. I know there's a couple of plots. I think this is one of them where if you look at it from a certain corner inside, there's some Z fighting, and every time I see it, it triggers me, and I almost stop what I'm doing and fix it every time. But it's actually really time consuming to fix these building models. Because you got to update a static collection, you re-export it, replace the NIF, and then we have to update our master records, which are kept in multiple places because we have one master set for Xbox and one for PC. It's a lot of work to do little things. That's why some like little stupid bugs have remained in the mod since it came out, because the fix is like so time consuming for what it offers, especially like little visual or audio glitches. A lot of times we'll just kind of let those fly. Okay, so let's talk Chapter 2 then. So then Chapter 2, I know you were working on something that I can't recall. What I remember about Chapter 2 is you swooped in and saved the day on Concord and the theater show. Because the person who was taking care of that, their life just went all topsy-turvy, and you kind of came in and saved the day. You pulled the wolf. But what were you working on before that? Because I know you had something you were working on. Or was it just the post-launch patch stuff?
You made the mistake of asking me what I wanted to do. No, I just got to say, stop here. Kingath is an awesome leader because he lets his team run with things.
Sometimes,
he builds up trust.
A couple people on the team are like, "No, he doesn't, Sirlach. You're totally wrong."
You're full of shit.
Yeah, full of it.
If you've got the barcode, you're in. No, it's if you're a synth, you're in. No, it's and I said I wanted to try writing because I love reading.
That's right.
I love the stories, and I survived the audition process. I didn't have to pay anyone off or anything, so Sirlach gave me the tick. So that was so I was given. We had a bunch of characters.
You wrote quite a few of the characters in.
We have a bunch of characters. Yes, we had a bunch of characters that had been baked up in the past. And that was this was going to be the Concord repopulation system. So we needed some characters to give Concord some flavor, and some side quests and things like that. So so the Thompsons are mine. Alyssa is mine, and Caleb is mine. And
so let's set the stage here, just so that people, because
sorry, mine is in
mad props to you for writing in it. And I'm not trying to take anything away from you, but I want people to understand the challenge that you had to face with this project. So
the challenge you had to face was Australian English.
Yeah, that was. We need an editor just to catch that. Like that was. That's because you weren't the only one. But I remember I definitely did some Australian edit. There was some Australian catching when I was given the script for Caleb. He was like, "Whoa, nope, nobody in America says that."
Nope.
So the challenge that you had here was someone else. So some other authors wrote these characters. So all of the Conquered characters were originally planned as part of the recruitable settler system that we did in Chapter 1. So we had all these treatments written up for characters. A lot of them we had like little quest ideas for them already. And the authors of those either decided not to pursue them or left the team before they did pursue them, or something happened. So we picked some of the ones that we thought were interesting. They were like, oh, it'd be nice to see that still happen. So you had
I got all the hard ones.
You had very tight restrictions on the project. You didn't have open freedom because you were given the character profile. You were given an outline for their quests, so you had to work within some pretty strict parameters. And then, of course, you had to, for the first time, that was your first time experiencing how hard it is to work with player dialogue. So we kind of threw you into the deep end with that project.
Oh yeah, where do I start? I mean, as a writer, like I was just a budding writer, so I've written a few things here and there. I actually was a journalist early in my career, but I never wrote fiction. So here I am writing stuff and trying to work out. But as giving a brief and writing to the brief is actually how I worked best. So that was good. But Joy got all the fun character. He got the cross-dressing super mutant and the evil Machiavellian pastor, and oh, sorry, I won't give too much away. But, spoiler alert.
But
wait, yeah,
hold on a second. Lovelace is back. We've got to do some banning real quick. So yeah,
right.
Joey Puke was also part of the Concord.
He was the other half of the writing team. Yeah.
So you both had the same project, and yours were. Oh my God, this spam here. I apologize for interrupting you. I just know that people are going to start spamming messages about telling me, hey, you got to get rid of that guy. Okay, so sorry to interrupt you there. So you took on let's go over it again. Thompson's, Caleb, Alyssa.
Thompson's, Caleb, and Alyssa.
Okay, just those three. Okay. Yep. Okay, please continue. My apologies.
I had to do other editing and bits and pieces down the line, but yeah, so we did all those, and then we needed someone to actually take over the production of it. So I got Battlefield promoted to like an associate producer, or it's just someone who tries to get it done. And then, but I had done some casting work on Conqueror to help out, or was it Chapter 1? I can't remember. And then you said, and we need.
I think it was the same. It was the same system, same thing that happened. It was some of our settlers got kind of left in the lurches, and I think you helped him at the end there.
And it was just, I think it was finding voice actors. And then we needed someone to actually, because Cobus is doing the main quest recruiting, and he was too busy with that, so we needed someone else to do the B team, or the side character recruiting, so I took over that. But I actually have some theatre experience in my past, which I really enjoyed. So that was actually a wonderful project to work on, because I got to talk to these wonderfully creative people, and we got so many. I mean, as you can tell, we have top-notch voice talent on our that we use, because. We are fortunate enough that they want to work with us. that we are blessed with.
Yes, indeed.
And but it's all because we enforce the quality that.
We have a very rigorous screening process for voice actors. Like we are happy to work with. In fact, in Chapter 2, we worked with a lot of new people who had never done it before, and some of them like just did a bang up job. I don't remember. You'll remember the name of the voice actor, the person who did No Man's Land. I was just totally blown away by that performance, and I think that was his first time ever doing voice acting. Just totally crushed it.
Yeah, that was amazing. And yeah, it was just fantastic working with the voice actors, and and I'm getting to do that again for Chapter 3 as well. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I don't know if that's what you were hoping for, but you did a good job. So and there's some great opportunities for some voice stuff in Chapter 3. So I hope you enjoyed it enough to keep doing it, because I kind of threw that project at you. Although I think you're also working on something you wanted. You started out this line of conversation about how I'm good about letting you guys explore stuff. This time I did kind of throw a big project at you that I wanted to see done.
Yeah, but you're also you let all the team propose stuff for Chapter 3, and so we get to work on our own. We get supported in doing our own stuff as well, so long as it doesn't mess with the main quest.
Yeah, well, I think the stuff ends up coming out better when you guys are excited about it and get to kind of run with it.
We're like all these. We've sort of, for those of you who who worked in, we're sort of taking on a terrorist cell sort of thing. We've got all these little cells that are operating independently. So
maybe you could have used a much less sinister.
Sorry,
Todd Howard has talked about, Bethesda does this too. They call them strike teams, which I think is a little the less sinister version, where he sends off people they describe for Fallout 4 development. Like it was one team came up with a new power armor system, and they just had a squad of people. It was a mix of artists and coders and creative people to just come up with how that was going to work, and then they mixed it all together, and I think that played out really nicely. Sometimes and we do that too. We tend to have 3 or 4 little sub projects going on, and there's some intermingling, but a lot of it's kind of independent, and there's been some missed opportunities where we didn't tie in stuff together. But I still think at the end of the day it comes out better because the individual content stands alone nicer, so then people who just experience that little block of content can have a good time. So I'm pretty happy with how we're doing things. So the somebody asked about the settlers scratching. Yes, that is the disease system. So yeah, so chapter 3, you're going to be doing some more voice direction, and then the other thing you're working on, we can't really talk about. I'll give the broad strokes of it. Is there's been a couple people on the team who are very disappointed about the fact that we parented Automatron and are doing very little with it. So I'll just leave it at that. Sirlach was one of the people voicing that concern.
Robots. That's all I'm saying.
Robots. That's all you're saying. So yeah, a lot of voice acting stuff you've been involved with. Kind of become our side character casting director, I guess. That's the title that Cobus goes by for the main quest, is the casting director. And you've taken that role on for all of the disparate characters and stuff that we put in the mod. That's kind of becoming
also a member of the better looking audio team.
Which is all related to that. We have so many. I appreciate that you too like to name things, because every time I create a group and you're involved, you always give it a name and an icon, which I usually
that's something I have to ask you. How many Discord groups do you currently have active?
Oh my god, let me see. I actually have been bumped. Something Discord changed at one time. They started losing some of my. I rely on Discord way too much. Like sometimes I'll leave for a while. I recovered it recently because I was worried this was going to happen. But like when people delete their accounts, I used to keep them in the list and I could find them, and so I would use Discord as like permanent file storage. Like somebody would send me a file and I'm like, well, I'm not ready for that, but I can come back and get it anytime. And now I've stopped that because people who delete their accounts, all their chat history gets all screwy and it's hard to find it. And so like I remember I had an important file for the Conqueror storyline that someone sent me, and then they deleted their account, and then it was like I figured out how to find their chat, but it's not easy. It's not just like in the list on the left hand side anymore. But I mean, I've got dozens and dozens and dozens of groups. Like every combination of people on our team probably have a little group going, because we always are breaking out little squads to work on sub projects and stuff. So
all our little ninja groups now have their own little Discord subgroups. So must get.
Well, because
having a name for them, it helps, because you can see, oh yeah, that's the audio team, and that's Sirlach's projects and stuff like that.
That's smart way to go. I think I started doing that a lot, because every time if I would create like sub channels for it, sub audio, or the problem I kept having when I wasn't doing those groups is if we got into a voice conversation in like one of the channels, there'd be a lot of FOMO with people on the team going, wait, did I miss a meeting, or wait, why am I not part of that? So it was like, let's just keep this in private group. And it's like no, like you don't need, not everyone needs to be involved in every sub part of the project, or we'll have too many cooks in the kitchen over and over again. So I do the group thing a lot. And I think it helps. I love Discord. Discord's a wonderful piece of software. Let's see here. Let's go to some audience questions. Nick Carter, will there be any CPD quest fixes soon? I mean, we try and get little fixes in for everything. I currently have, I don't know, 30 fixes for various things coming in, queued up for the 2.02 patch, and it's only Wednesday, so that's only just 4 days of thinking around with it when I have time. We'll have quite a lot of fixes coming. I don't know. CPD is not really on my radar. That's something I tend to poke Sag about. He's our main quest designer. I poke him about doing those because I had no involvement whatsoever with CPD setup. So there's at least, I think I've done 2 fixes for them, but they're very minor. So I don't know that I don't know of all the things that are broken with it, but as long as you keep reporting them on the forums, the thing to watch for is if you see if somebody engages with you on the forums with a staff tag or a community rockstar, it's much more likely to end up on my plate, because it's impossible for me to keep up with the forums. I mean, the amount of messages we have on the forums is insane. We got to the point where on our forums, they're crazy active. I've done a lot of forums in my life, and I haven't seen one that's quite as active as ours. We use an external mail delivery service for our messages and stuff to send out mail. So when you manage your own web server, getting past, like setting it up correctly to get past everybody's spam filters is a giant pain in the butt. And then the rules change all the time and you gotta have all these requirements. So rather than dealing with all that, we outsourced to another company, and we were using one company. It was working great. It was pretty cheap. We got to the point where they dropped us because our forum was sending out too many messages. And the forum only sends out messages when people DM each other, or if they set up email notifications manually, or for some people, I think we had a default thing on where it would send a, if you hadn't been active for 5 days, it would send you a recap of like, hey, here's the posts you've been involved with that have gotten updates. And we were sending out like 3,000 messages a day from our server was, which is just nuts. So like that's how much you guys are DMing each other and stuff. So we recently had to, that's why in January, a lot of you probably found you couldn't get into we're having trouble with the forums. Like you couldn't recover your passwords or sign up or whatever. We had to go to, like, we're using like a high-end email sending service now. And we had to go through this big approval process to make sure that we weren't a spam bot. So pretty crazy how much stuff shifts to our forums. But anyway, the point being, our forums, even though they're super high traffic, are the best way to get bugs into my queue to be fixed. Let's see here. Sehui, I think Sehui, I don't know how to say that. Sorry. Was that Vault 81 dupe NPC bug fixes? I don't know what you're referring to. If you have more information, maybe I can answer that. Let's see. Jake and Isabella Cruz is a criminally underutilized character in vanilla. I don't know who that is. Man, I'm failing on. I'm 0 for 2 here on answering questions. Let's see. It's all ogre now. Good username. Is Sim Settlements 2 compatible with mods that extend settlement building borders like in Here's All Settlements Standard? Yeah, it should work fine with them. The SS1 worked with those, and the SS2, I used a lot of the same fundamentals to build it. I'd just like to think I improved on a lot of them.
Can I tell a funny story about settlement extension mods?
Yes, please do.
So I think during early, I think it's probably SS1, I installed settlement. I think it was all settlements extended. It's like, oh, fantastic! Got so much space, and I started putting down some of Hewitt's Junktown plots. At Sunshine Tidings, and I went away and I come back and there was there was the freighter ship on the side of the hill going all the way down to the water.
Oh, were you using were you using Junktown Extreme,
yes,
or was that before he switched them? Okay.
It's just like, because I just put down a plot and they come back and there's this ship on the side of the hill, and it was amazing. But yeah, those settlement extenders, unfortunately, I think Bethesda design had limited the size of them because you can only handle so many verts in a cell. And the problem is when you extend it and then you put down a full settlement and you fill every single bit of it with our plots, it just, it brings my NASA supercomputer to its knees. So just be careful when you don't invest too heavily in going all out in those.
Yeah, the settlement extended mods combining. Yeah, I think it's a lot like building the level 3 city plans. It's like you gotta be prepared for it and kind of test the waters and see how you're gonna go. But yeah, putting too many plots in one place is risky business. Which is why like we tend to balance everything around the number of settlers, because we're like, most people I think have learned that their system can only handle so many people, but some folks like to push the limit. And I think the nice thing I think the plots have a self-limiting thing there too, is there's no advantage to building plots without corresponding people. So I think most people keep themselves in check naturally, which is helpful. The Junktown Extreme was really funny to see. When he was developing that, he'd post screenshots of these absurd models he would squeeze on the plots. Like he had a Diamond City one at some point, where just to get the whole baseball stadium appearing on the plot.
Yeah, they're incredible.
Isabella Cruz is the mechanist. Okay, thank you. I don't know why I didn't know that.
Somebody let Dell onto the chat.
which Australian other team has the better sounding accent? Oh man, we're not good into that. I recently watched. I'm trying to remember who it was. It was somebody.
Dell does. Let's just sort it out. Dell does.
There was somebody in a TV show or a YouTuber who sounded just like you, Sirlach. It was like freaking me out. I can't remember where it was.
I've been told I've got physical doppelgangers, but I haven't heard of an audio one yet. But
yeah, somebody I think it was a YouTube channel I was watching, and somebody had like was dead on your kind of rhythm of speaking and accent, or it was like could have been your brother.
Brother from another mother.
So what are you? I was asking. I remember
you're gonna have to put Dell on now. He needs to reply. You'll have to put him. Schedule him in.
Dell, you still haven't scheduled our one-on-one from ages ago, so I don't know. Do that, and then we can get you on the podcast. But a surprising number of people on the team all pinged me at once wanting to be on. So I've actually got still got a few more weeks lined up of people coming on. Tom Schulk was just me reaching out to him. I was just like, I bet people would like to hear from.
Yeah, you need a celebrity.
Yeah, he's like a little celebrity in our community.
Celebrity edition.
The one person, Dell actually has been on my podcast back when I did it. The one person I've never been able to get on the team, or from the team onto the cast, which I'm shocked by, is Kobus. Because like Kobus obviously has no trouble speaking to people. He's one of the people on the team who has no trouble reaching out to anybody and asking them for things. So I find it odd that he's never made the time to come on, or volunteered to. Like he said like, I'll come on one day, and then never did. Yeah, surprisingly number of people on the team I'm hoping to get most people on the team. I know there's some folks on the team who almost never speak in our team meetings, or who have very, very thick accents and would probably be hard for folks to understand. I think I'm hoping to get as many people as possible on the team on here, because everybody's got their stories about stuff, and I'd like to give the shout outs for what folks have been working on, because I hate this feeling that people think that I do all this. It's like, no, that's insane. Like, no one person can build this. It's not possible.
You've got this huge multinational, international team behind
We really do. It's like every time zone we've got covered. Mix of people from all over. Like, I can't even assume, like when I say, like when I come on during a holiday and I talk about it, or I say to you guys on the team like, oh, we're not gonna have a meeting because of this holiday, and only like a third of the team knows what I'm talking about, or actually celebrates that said holiday, because everybody's spread out so much.
Well, you've got all these non-Americans working on this fundamentally American game, and it's, but we all just love it so much.
Well, it makes sense that the big Australian audience with the Mad Max thing.
Oh yeah.
That feels natural. What I haven't understood is how why is it so popular in Germany? Because I feel like we have a lot of German fans, and like German's usually the first language that gets translated to. Like as soon as I put out any expansion for it themselves, immediately somebody who speaks German is asking if they can translate it. And we've got quite a few people on our team who are German.
I think it's apocalyptic fiction applies to a lot of it applies at some sort of base to our base instincts, I suppose, of survival and all that sort of thing. So
yeah, fair enough. I've been enamored with it since the old isometric games. I love those so much. I think those just hit me at just the right time of my life, where I was just like, oh my god, this is amazing. I think Fallout was my first exposure to the post-apocalyptic genre, because I think it came out when I was like 13 or 14. I just never had seen, I hadn't watched Mad Max or anything at the time. So to me, post-apocalyptic and Fallout are synonyms. All right, we got some more questions coming up here. Let's see. I can't answer Dell's question. Valen Love, you have to pick between one of the Sirs, Sirlach, Sir Rick, who stays, who dies. Nope, not doing it. Not answering those questions.
Sir Rick definitely goes on the lifeboat. That's for sure.
Wingnut21, does SS2 have plots? That was the brewery, and which plot type is it under? Yeah, the brewery is still in. It's under industrial, but it doesn't unlock until you get the production class unlocked, I believe it's under. And if you don't want to play through the mod a bunch to get it, you just want to build it, you can use the cheat holotape. So if you go into the holotape, oops, that's not a weapon. If you go into the city manager holotape and go down to tools, cheats, and unlock all building classes, and then the brewery should be one of the default building plans you get when you unlock the production class. Because for a while I had that gated. So a lot of the building plans that you're used to from Industrial Revolution, the only way to get them without using the cheat commands is you have to use the Mark 1 beacon system in a variety of industrial type locations. And so for the longest time we had the brewery, you would have to go use the Mark 1 beacon in a brewery to unlock it, but because there's all this content involved with it, including a settler, the Monty Phylon character, that I decided to make that a default because there's just too much content to lock out behind the Mark 1 system, which I know only, I'm fairly certain only the hardcore players are using that system, because it's the type of thing you only use in like a full playthrough where you're doing a mix of questing and building up settlements and stuff. It's not the type of thing for people who are just like powering through our story. They're never going to see that. They're probably never using that system for how it was intended, which is fine. Let's see here. Have you thought about short form videos for YouTube? I mean, we do a slimmed down version of this stream. Luke, the person who edits for me, he's got his own channel, Kagalinsky. Luke does a slimmed down version of this stream where he'll chop out like 25 minutes of the gameplay focused stuff and cut out all of me rambling. So that's about the shortest I do. If you're talking about short form, like 5-minute videos, I actually had a brief thing come up yesterday where I was thinking this would actually have made a good like YouTube short or whatever 30-second video, but I don't want to start thinking about that stuff. I'm not chasing YouTube
Settlements
subscribers.
TV.
Yeah. Although I did hear about that apparently, like, do you guys have Roku over there? Is that a thing? It's like a little device
really.
You plug into your television and it gets you a bunch of streaming services. I love those things, and I have them.
The Google one.
Okay, yeah. So there's a bunch of, like, Google has one, Amazon's got the Fire Stick, so Roku is like another one. And they're like $30 and you get access to all these streaming things, and I put them on like every TV. I give them to all my relatives as presents all the time because I love them. And I found out I guess anybody can just make a Roku channel, which I was like, that could be fun. I don't know what I'd do with it, but just interesting to know that you can start your own little TV station. Let's see here. Quester WI. Holiday in Europe, the most English-speaking world is vacation. Oh, that's true. Good point. What were you saying, Sirlach?
I was just going to say if the romantic comedy starring Jake ever takes off.
Now I've kind of like I took my stab at kind of, and my goal wasn't really to make like blow up a YouTube channel, but my stab at doing YouTube as close to a consistent full-time thing as I could. It wasn't full-time, but like as far as like making it a regular part of my life where I was doing a lot of stuff. I did that last year. I was doing 4 videos a week, and it just was burning me out. It was just like I have too much other stuff going on in my life to commit to that kind of stuff. Like I can commit commit to this because it's nothing planned. I just kick on the stream and go. And that's, it's just, and I would use this time normally this is cutting into, maybe a little bit of bug fixing time, but otherwise end of my night, I got to wind down anyway. So I'm going to play games or something to chill out. So it's not that big a deal. Whereas before, when we were doing all edited videos, I mean, it would take to do a version of my Let's Play before for like when I did the Children of Adam or the Raider, it would be like 5 hours of recording to get a 30-minute video, because I was like I would like reload saves and make sure I did everything perfectly, and I would cut a lot of stuff out of me just looting or dinking around in settlements, and it was just like too much to have to commit to that. And then what else was I doing? And then I had the podcast, so then it was like hunting down a guest and coordinating time in our schedules that would work out. It was a lot. So I've not really been chasing any type of YouTube fame. The only reason I had even done all that, it was because I was like, I want to bring people to the mod. I remember I was working with Ricky Summer as my editor. He's got his own YouTube channel. I love the guy. He got my attention originally because of his YouTube series on Sim Settlements 1. I thought they were hilarious. Loved watching those. And when we first started working together on this stuff, we were talking about like what we could do with a YouTube channel, and then when we finally parted ways and he broke off as editors, because I finally said to him, I was like, I got to be real with myself. Like everything we do on this channel has to be in service to the mod, because that's what I care about. I just want to get more eyeballs on the mod, and if the YouTube channel will help with that, great. And I don't think it ever really was. I think it's more like the YouTube channel is great to get information out for the mod, but I don't think it's really doing any advertising for the mod. I think the advertising for the mod now is coming from Bethesda popping us in the top right corner. Which, how proud do you feel, Sirlach, when that happens? When they put us up, when you log into the game and it says play Sim Settlements 2 Gunner Outbreak, how cool is that?
I mean, we did developer profiles on the wiki, and I had to write, about why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And I realized that I'm trying to build the game that I want to play, and like you start off by modding your game, and then you get into making mods for the game, and now we're building this huge story. I mean, once Chapter 3's out, this Fallout 4 is going to be 5 times bigger than it ever was, and there'll be so much to do, and you'll be able to put another 1,000, 2,000 hours into it, no problem. And then seeing stuff like that is just really hits you in the warm, happy spot. It's. I mean, I know it's what every positive comment that you get, it just drives you on, and it's like every endorsements, it all just drives you on. It's so rewarding because you're not doing it for money.
Right.
You're doing it for likes and
right. Yeah, there's a little bit of this, like, it's just a little ego stroke. It goes a long way. But the ultimate flattery is also, to me, is like having Bethesda be willing to do that, because they don't do that for a lot of mods. So having them say, like, you know what, we trust your guys' quality, we're gonna go ahead and post you up there. That feels really cool. It feels a little surreal. Like when it happened for SS2 for Chapter 1 for the initial release, I was just like, that's crazy. Like for a month, every time I log in the game to go test, and it says Elements 2 right there, and it's like everybody's seeing that, and the poor PlayStation users who contact me like, how do I download this mod? I see it in the corner, but it's not coming up in search.
Yeah, and you keep getting invited to give interviews to like real journalists. It's amazing.
It's very fun.
For this little community project.
Well, it's turned into quite the epic undertaking. I mean, I think already it takes longer to play through our quest line, like our Chapter 1, Chapter 2 quest line, than it does to play through the vanilla quest line. I think you can beat the
absolutely
faster, which is crazy. I hope, like, I really like I hope we pull off the vision of Chapter 3, like how we have it on paper, because it almost turns the base game into a side quest, which is really, really amusing to me. With the scope and scale of what we're doing and everything in our incorporation of stuff. Let's see here. Thiago Sunfeld, do you guys plan to make a no HUD support for those seeking more immersion? Would be cool to need to open terminal, use your Pip-Boy and showing scrap on it. I have no intention of doing that. I love my HUD stuff. In fact, we're doubling down on HUD stuff. There's more HUD stuff coming.
More HUDs.
Yeah, and I don't mean like more stuff that you have to have on your screen all the time. Like there will be one more element that's on the screen, and it'll be toggleable just like this stuff is. You can have this stuff turned off. But yeah, no HUD things are not really on my plate. I'm not against them. Like I love the immersive stuff. Like I love the way like Metro does all their stuff. Like all their menus and things are immersive, but we just don't have the tools for it. Like terminals are super limited in what you can do with them, or at least holotapes are, like what you can do with the Pip-Boy, and they're a big pain in the butt to do. Like the HUD stuff is also a pain in its own way, but the results are so much more satisfying than
anything involving Flash. Yeah,
is very, very complicated. Or like this floating icon system, I absolutely love it. I spent a lot of time on that. I'm very happy with it. But I mean, that's the thing is, with all this terminal information, like there's no reason somebody else couldn't figure out how to do that. So I'm not opposed. I would not, I wouldn't object to somebody releasing a mod that did that if somebody else wanted to approach it. Let's see here. Velen Love, thanks for sharing your chill out time with us. Yeah, no problem. I enjoy it. This is something that I failed to do much of during between Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. I really kind of like fell off the radar and broke off from almost all community engagement. I was almost never on the forums. I was not doing anything like this during Chapter 2 dev, and I missed it. I think I've actually been off the forums for a couple of weeks, which is
but you didn't sleep. You didn't actually sleep.
Yeah, the Chapter 2 was I was in it, like I was trying to figure out life balance with sim settlements involved, because like SS2 is so much more involved than SS1 was for development cycle and everything. And I just keep getting better at maintaining my schedule. But yeah, Chapter 1 dev, I think that's where I realized the YouTube was too much for me. And then Chapter 2, it was like, all right, I'm going to cut the community stuff down to a minimal. And I think that was a mistake. And so I've been trying to incorporate that back in. But yeah, hopefully we keep this stream going for a long time.
good balance now, and we've still got the city plan contest and all the other.
I love that contest. I'm so glad we've got a handful of people who just do it every month. That's so satisfying. I'm actually really hyped for the Masters contest to come back, because we were going a longer time because we decided to do like let's do all the settlements before we do Masters this time, which is a little different than what we've done in the past. Because usually it was every 12 months. So this one's going to be, what's it going to? Did we determine it was going to be 18 months before, or no? Not long. I don't remember how long. 16.
It's coming up in. I think Masters is in May.
Yeah,
Masters is in May.
So that was a nice change of pace, or I wouldn't know if say a nice change of pace. It was cool to have it annually, but it's a lot. That Masters contest is a lot of work for everybody involved. So like for our team, for the designers, but man, are the settlements cool. So like some of the coolest settlement designs I've ever seen came out of that Masters contest. Let's see here. Quester WI. Sorry, I use a mod that blocks CC adverts and loading screens, so I never see it. No, that's all right. Jim Simon, can you explain the Triangle of Death with Sanctuary and surrounding settlements, and did the long save fix impact that all? I'm not sure I even experienced it. No, the long save wouldn't have had anything to do with that. So the Triangle of Death is when you get over to Red Rocket, you have all of Sanctuary and all of Abernathy Farm loaded into memory simultaneously. So you can end up in a state where you have, you know, like let's say you had 20 settlers at each settlement, and each of them had 2 plots, like a residential and a job plot, or, you know, now with recreational, you could even more. You're loading in simultaneously into memory, you know, over 100 plots at once, and it's just the game chokes. So like the Triangle of Death, it's actually Red Rocket is the pinnacle of it. And now we've created the Square of Death, because when you're in Red Rocket, you've also got Concord loaded, which now has all of our stuff. Although that stuff's way tamer than plots, so it shouldn't be as big a deal as we joke about it. The Square of Death now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Triangle of Death is basically because of Red Rocket. When you're there, you're loading in both of these other settlements.
When King Gath had the 50 settler build in Sanctuary, there was no one at the other settlements. They were empty. You know, he emptied those out. It's like nothing to see here. Move along.
If you choose to build up Sanctuary, like basically you should choose if you've got a good system, choose 2, build them up, and leave the other one alone. If you've got a pokey system, pick one of those 3 and that's it, because building all 3 of those together is a disaster. I mean, if you keep to the vanilla build limit, it's fine, but you aren't going to get much out of SS2 with the vanilla build limit. Like most people have found,
no one sticks to the vanilla
right anymore. But even just our basic city plans, like they will hit the build limit immediately, and they won't even build up all the plots before that happens. Let's see. Carvok. The SS2 story is longer because of the pacing in it and integration with settlements, what the MM failed so well at. Yeah, definitely. I mean that, but even if you don't, one of the things I noticed with even without doing settlement stuff, like just to get through, I think because I do a lot of testing where I use the holotape to jump right to HQ. I think just with our quests, like doing 0 other quests, doing 0 enemy kills, you get to level 15 just from our quests up till HQ. Which is pretty wild. And like I think most of the time when I finish the vanilla game, I'm like I can do it at like level, I don't know, 18 or 20, and like so once you incorporate, you know, like what level am I at already? And we're only partway into chapter 2, and I haven't been doing a lot of other quests or anything, so this is almost entirely leveling up from our quests. Yeah, I'm about to hit level 17, and we're like I don't know what. A 5th of the way through, a 6th. We're barely. We're only we're 2 quests into chapter 2, and it has. Let me think. About 15. I think it's got 12 quests in it. So, yeah, we'll be in like mid 20s by the time we finish chapter 2. So you can get quite a bit out of XP. I think playing our mod.
That's something we might have to look at for chapter 3. Is that you'll be very late game.
Yeah,
by the time you unlock everything.
Well, I think the natural direction we're going with it, you're going to want to be pretty high level anyway.
Yeah,
for everything that we're going to be throwing at people. So
all those features that we're not allowed to talk about.
Right. Yeah. I was trying to ask you a question a little earlier, and I stopped myself of like, what are you looking forward to? Like, no, we can't even talk about that. Yeah. So thankfully the audience is here with
very excited.
Question for Sirlach from Caillou Dong. Which side character was hardest to write?
Okay, so I was given a retired hunter, a ex-detective who liked to torture people, and a frustrated woman who wanted to build a publishing empire. And that's why I joked that Joy Puke got all the fun characters. But no, I mean it was I've had some life experience, and so each one had its own challenges, and I could, and they're all challenging, but I don't think any of them. Well, Alyssa was probably the hardest because she was the first one that I tackled, and I kind of used her to work out a few things about how I write. So, but it just started to flow a lot easier after that. But yeah, writing's either, I think it's either something that flows or it doesn't. It's for me anyway. It's binary.
So here's a follow-up question in that writing. Which character were you the most jealous of that Joy got that you wanted to write?
As the president of the Cross-Dressing Super Mutant Fan Appreciation Society, I love Dylan and Carnal, and both their VAs are like superstars, and I can just listen to them forever, and we're trying to do there may be some extension to them in chapter 3.
I have it up, so yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So
you have it.
I have another. So somebody else on the team has something they want to do that I think would fit well with those characters. So I might be pulling somebody else into the Secret Fest group who has a cool idea for something. It would involve you'd have to put on your writer's hat again if we pursue
more
this.
The merrier. Yeah, I figured as much anyway. But but I also love. Edmund is fantastic. Please listen to his sermons. They're comedy gold. Like there's just little bits through them, and I mean all of Joy's characters are really enjoy. Harriet's great, but I haven't found her yet in
oh my god, I forgot about Harriet.
Playthrough.
I totally forgot about her. I was saying in my stream a couple weeks ago. I was like, that's the last character. Nope, there's another one. Forgot about Harriet.
Yeah, well, she's got. Basically, all the other quests have to finish first.
Right. She's kind of like the secret.
I went to SAG and I said, SAG, I can't find her. Where is she? And he gave me the list of conditions that need to be met. I'm like, right, okay, back to the.
Yeah. She's kind of
get back on
the final thing. Because I always think of like the Alyssa quest as the final one because it has that big thing at the end of it. But I forgot about Harriet. So I definitely got to spend some more time back in Conquer. All right, let's see here. Kenneth Creason, this may be a dumb question, but I lost the settlement for unhappiness. How do I reclaim it since I can't figure out how to find the mod? I don't know what that last word is. So there are a couple of ways you can do it. I believe the Minutemen will eventually give you another quest to do it. So if you can go talk to Preston, and eventually it'll come up, I believe. It's been a long time since I've had that happen. Otherwise, you can use maybe you're saying the mod config isn't coming up. So you could build yourself a workshop framework controls holotape. We actually have a cheat to just claim a settlement. So if you go to your chemistry workbench and you go down to utility, you'll see workshop framework controls, or there's also one that's tagged for, because I think the settings is the tag for one of those mods that changes it into a picture. But you build one of these, and then I'll go ahead and just do it. If you run the tools in here while you're standing in a settlement, let's see. Oh, it goes up to the top because I put the little dash on it. There's a tool in here to just claim the current settlement or claim all settlements. So it's under Tools, Claim Settlement. You just go run this while you're standing inside of that settlement, and it'll just let you retake it. And then you'll need to quickly throw down some stuff to improve happiness, or you're going to lose it again. Because I think once you hit, I think it's 0 happiness. It might be, I think it's 0 happiness. You hit 0 and you lose it. Let's see here. Valen Love for reference. King Gath and Sirlach. My SS is level 51. I just finished Is There a Doctor in the House? And have not gone to the Glowing Sea in terms of main quests. I also play a high-end build, though. Yeah, you can get really high level playing our quest line. And especially if you do a lot of exploring while you're doing it and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't think I think I've got to the Glowing Sea once. And like I've clocked 3,000 hours, I think, by now, and I just, I don't know about you guys, but I just feel that, I mean, yes, there's the main quest component, but after that, there's just not a lot of reason to go there. I mean, yes, it's a highly irradiated wasteland, but
yeah,
I just feel like there's
not a ton of reason
they could have done
going back there. Yeah, it would have
something
been
more
interesting
there.
if they did something kind of like with 76, where there's. Did you play 76, Sirlach?
No, I haven't yet. Okay.
There's this thing you do where you nuke an area, and then like it spawns some high-end creatures that are legendary creatures, effectively.
Yeah.
So you can get some legendaries. So that would have been a cool use for Glowing Sea, is like, you know, constantly spawn in legendaries or something. Would have been a cool farming area for late game for the looter shooter that Fallout 4 pretends to be sometimes. Let's see. Discmaster just got home. Did I miss all the fun? Well, you missed all the gameplay. We played through the start of Chapter 2. We got through Disappearance of Jake Evans and Runners and Gunners. But now we're just hanging out, just talking. Let's see here. Jake, and I've listened to the sermons half a dozen times, but only ever hear you only ever hear the envy one. That's interesting. I noticed it's a little, the sermon thing definitely seems a little bit wonky right now, because almost every time I go back there, he's playing a sermon, which should not be the case. They should only be playing during certain hours of the day. So I think I have
after 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I think I have some flaws in my code logic for the thing. But I'd rather him be saying it all the time than not at all, because there was a time when people were saying he was never doing the sermons.
I'm sure we'll patch it soon.
Yeah, somebody actually finally sent me a save with the Edmund not talking to them, and a lot of people report that Edmund doesn't have the intro conversation, which I have never experienced. So I finally have a save with it, so I should be able to get that fixed for next week's patch. Well, let's see. No trick. I was thinking that we need a ghoul who was an Aussie actor who has traveled from the NCR. Man, ghoul voices, those are rough. So
we actually burn out VAs with ghoul voices.
Yeah, like I'll deliver the sad news to everyone, because you know about what I'm about to talk about. Carne Assad.
No.
It was the winner of we did a poll for like people's favorite characters, because we're trying to figure out.
He was like 60 votes. Like he was
number one, like
ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, it was super far ahead of everybody. But that voice actor is actually like he's a professional in the entertainment industry. Like he's worked for the Jim Henson Company doing production, and now he's doing stuff for television shows where he needs his voice. And he was very flattered that he won the vote, but he had to decline to come back, because he's like, I can't have my voice was broken for a week after that, and I can't risk that again. So unfortunately, we won't be able to bring Carne Assad back. But that reason we did that poll about the people's favorite characters is because a lot of those VAs, we actually worked with them years ago, like years before SS2 came out, because as many of you guys have heard me say, SS2 actually started out as part of Rise of the Commonwealth, which was released in 2018, I think. And then it was just it got a lot of the content just kind of got stuck on our hard drives, waiting for us to have the bandwidth to complete it. Can
I tell my SS2 Genesis story?
Probably. As long as you're not spoiling chapter 3, I think we're okay.
No. It was like, I think I was getting an update on how's things going, and you were busy telling me that, I'm just going to rewrite a bit of this code. It's just not as efficient as it could be. and then like 3 months later, we're going in a new direction. We're going to go SS2. It's like, it was just like from starting off of rewriting the code for performance to, a whole new mod. I just thought that was amazing.
There's been a couple times we did that, because we also shifted gears when I went ham with recruiting after SS1 became popular, and I was like, this is my shot. This is a chance to like make something really huge. Like I can actually pull off one of the total conversion style mods that I've always dreamed of making that never made it to you guys have no idea how many mod projects I've been involved with that just failed. And I put in hundreds of hours of work, and like the work just died on. I probably still have it, actually, to be honest with you. I'm a hoarder with hard drives. But anyway,
there's a bounty out there for your Warcraft mod, or no? What was it?
No one's ever getting any of my old mods. They're because some of them are like they would not pass the cancel culture test right now, because I was. I was a teenager at some point. We all do stupid and say stupid things. And I'm thankful that I did not have to I did not have social media when I was a teenager.
No witnesses, no problem.
Right, exactly. So anyway, the Rise of the Commonwealth started out as it was going to be this big project for city plans and settlers. In fact, to the point where there's a lot of stuff in the city plans that was going to be tied to some of the settlers that we ended up with, and like there was going to be this series of and like one of them that actually made it into the mod, but we moved him because of the way the things all played out. But there was going to be, in I think 5 of the settlements in our city plan designs, there was going to be a door that appeared, and it would take you to an interior where you would meet one of our settlers. And the one that made it in is and I can't think of his name. You did the loot boxes for him. Was it Tiny Tim? Was his name?
Yep. Oh, you got to see those loot boxes. They're hilarious.
I need to do. I have on my enhancement list. I think it's on the bug report thing that I want to make. I never added the confetti sound, like the vault, like when the lunchbox opens. I needed to add that to it. I never got around to it.
Oh, that annoying. Yeah, that little.
Yeah. Like, so that was gonna all be part of it, and then the city plan team like crushed it, like Strong and Cynical and Ruined. Who else was on that thing? Tank Thing was amazing. He did so much work on that project. And there was a bunch of people who like they just crushed it on Fanciest Moon. A bunch of people crushed it on these city plans, and like we'd had like a dozen of these really high quality city plans done, and the settler side of the project was going nowhere fast. Like it was, we had maybe 10 characters finished writing, and so I eventually broke that into like we're gonna do 2 expansions, and because also involved with that settler thing, the main quest, so the thing that has become the core of SS2, the Jake quest, that was going to be part of Rise of the Commonwealth as well. It was a really ambitious project, and I had like a 4-month timetable for it because I was basing it on like, well, if everyone works the hours I do on this mod, which is way too many, because I was just super hyped at the time. Like I was probably putting in 40-hour work week and then 60 hours on some settlements back in the day. Now I can't even come close to that because my wife would kill me. That was about what I was doing back then. So I was like, oh, if everybody does this, well, we could bust out with this many people, we could bust out a super mod in no time. But we ended up breaking it into two expansions, and then by the time, and then during that cycle, I developed, I could see the code wasn't running great. I developed Workshop Framework during that time, and I built out this really complicated threading engine with the help of E or 1000100010 or whatever his username is. We came up with this really cool threading engine that is really, really fast, and that's why we have plot refreshing that works instantly. And I realized that there was too much technical baggage that we needed to ditch, so SS2 became the solution. It let us kind of rebrand, and I didn't have to worry about people's save files, which was, man, that is such a relief.
You have performed miracles with this
so the biggest compliment I've received with the mod so far is the guy who goes on Bethesda forums are gone now, but SMK Viper. He's the one of the developers at Bethesda, and he wrote the Papyrus scripting engine, and he has said to me, I do not understand how you are making the game do what you do, which is like so flattering that the guy who wrote the code engine doesn't know how I'm able to pull off some of the stuff we do with SS2, which feels really cool. Let's see here. Wait, did I read? Oh, yep, I read the ghoul one. Okay. Zabraxa, morning, sir. Question about ROTC City. What are the upgrade requirements? When I hit upgrade available, level upgrades, but nothing happens. No camera flight, etc. So all I can say about city plans is they need a lot of work right now. The SS2 city plans did not get a good enough treatment, and they never did leading up to chapter 1, and they never did during chapter 2, but they are such a core, they're such an important feature now between HQ and what's coming in chapter 3 that I'm going to be like doing a big overhaul in that code. So like there's a lot of UI elements missing for exactly what you're talking about, Zabraxa. So there's really just no way to know. It basically means you need to have more junk to do it. So just keep collecting junk and eventually it'll go through. The other reason it might not go through is if you are at the build limit, but it should pop you a notice about that. It should pop a notice about the construction too, but it's been so long since I looked at the code, I could be wrong with that. So city plan code, expect like a massive overhaul of it sometime, probably based on the time frame of like what I'm working on now. I would say in the next couple months, because it's going to be pretty clutch to some of the stuff we're working on right now for chapter 3. Like I need to have that code working, so you guys can probably expect a big overhaul patch to city plan code very soon.
City plan's a big part of it.
Exactly, yeah, and I'm sure the city plan contest developers will be happy to hear that, so they know.
Well, we do have, once we have masters, we'll have 3 years of city plans that need to be.
Oh man! And speaking of 3 years of city plan,
packaged up and promoted and made to look more amazing than they already do.
Right, we definitely need to do it before that. Like I think I need to commit
Especially
to.
Carvox. I got to shout out to Carvox.
Yeah, Carvox is always there. We definitely need to. I need to commit to doing that code overhaul before Masters, just to make sure the Masters get their spotlight. But a cool thing is going on right now in our team. Actually, it's pretty much finished. No Fuss, No Muss, who is the designer of all of the world repopulation interiors that are currently in the mod. She went through and ported all of the finalists from the first 2 years of city plans that were done in SS1. So she's got a giant collection of ported city plans ready to go that we're gonna be releasing. We'll probably just wait at this point. Like I think I was gonna try and do it in March, and I may still, but I'll either do it then or I'll wait until after season 3 is done and we'll just release it all as this gigantic collection. So that'll be pretty cool. Of course, it'll have to. I think because of the script data limit, it's gonna have to be as like chunks. So it'll be like like a big collection of ESL files or something. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we have just so many city plans now, which is amazing. It'll be perfect for when we get the pre-build system back one day.
Yep.
Valen Love, I live for Sirlach putting King Guy on blast. call me out on my crap. Let's see. Speaking of that, Choo Choo, is he gonna remind me about the nukes? Because he should. First of all, thanks for the fix for the HQ rooms. Question: did Luck ever get a bonus for NPCs like the other special stats did? Yeah, Luck actually does have some benefit. Not in HQ right now, I don't think. Luck has a couple of tiny benefits we determined when I was looking through my code. So one is it increases if you're caravan guy, like the person working your caravan services plot, has high luck, it increases the chance of discoveries. So the thing I mentioned earlier about a lot of the industrial buildings, you earn them through the Mark 1 beacons. Basically, when your settlers go collect the Mark 1 beacon and they generate a bunch of scrap, there's a die roll that happens to determine if they also discover some new technology. And that die roll, they have a better chance if they've got high luck. I think it's a mix of luck and perception are what determines it. And then luck is also used. The luck of your city, of your mayor, like your city leader, determines whether or not your newly recruited settlers get a bonus stats to their pool. So whenever, like I think by default, every new settler gets a pool of like 11 or 12 points distributed, maybe a little bit higher than that. It's a very small number, 15 maybe, points distributed across all their special stats. And it's totally random unless you have a city plan leader, and then their highest stat will always match the highest stat of the leader. And the leader's luck is used to determine a chance that the settler will get 5 bonus points in their stat pool. So you can get slightly better vanilla settlers if your leader has a high luck stat. So those are the 2 uses of luck that I'm aware of right now. Let's see here. It's all ogre now. What requirements need to be met for Pastor Edmund to have his sermons and the church clean up? Haven't completed chapter 1, but Concord is very built up. So it's basically after you complete well, you will be able to, if you talk to Pastor Edmund, this is what's supposed to happen, but I know a lot of people have said it doesn't work. So I've got a save with it like that, so I can fix this. So assume for 2.02 this will be the truth for everybody. But for most people who played a fresh save, you should, with chapter 1 and chapter 2 installed, you should find that after well is done, if you talk to Pastor Edmund, he will have like a big long, he goes in, he's very, very wordy, to the point where we've talked about cutting a few of his lines because he says so much. But he will talk a lot about his past. He'll tell you that there's, his flock will be coming behind him, basically telling you, hey, there's going to be more people moving into Concord. And then he introduces the community board and the fact that he does sermons. And like all of that should happen at the end, after anytime you talk to him after well. I've heard a lot of people that isn't the case. I know that what I think might be happening is what's the quest called? Dark Horizons, I think. There's a quest where you have to meet Jake in Concord at the church. And what we found is if people hadn't done the Edmund conversation, they would go to talk to Jake and Edmund would interrupt. So I know we disabled one of his trigger boxes during that quest, and what I'm betting is happening is we forgot to re-enable it at the end of that Jake quest. And so people who failed to talk to Edmund before that quest, I think it's Dark Horizons, No, it couldn't be Dark Horizon. Whatever quest that is. You guys know, I'm sure many of you guys who have played through this, you know what I'm talking about. People who failed to talk to Edmund before doing that quest with Jake at the church, I think that is what broke Edmund for some people. So it'll be an easy fix if that's the case. But whatever the case, I got to save now. It's super easy for me to fix these problems. So if you guys have a bug, you want me to fix it, the easiest way is to, when you report, post your save file, your .fos save file. I know you can't do this on Xbox, but PC players, post your .fos save file. If you go to the wiki, I've written up steps of where you find those. It's in your documents folder. It's very easy to find. Grab that save, toss it up on Google Drive, make it, right-click it and say, change the sharing to anyone with a link, and post that with your thing. And that way I can, even if I can't like load your save completely, like you can actually play with it because you have so many mods, I can at least do some basic checks of like, did this quest stage happen? And like I can kind of figure some stuff out. It helps a lot. Oh, we got a super chat. Anoctium, thank you. Beers for the team, fantastic. Or I guess with the price of everything nowadays, it'll be beers for me and you, Sirlach. But thank you, Anoctium, appreciate it. Let's see here. Velen loves shout out to King Gaswife for not killing him. Yes, I appreciate that as well. Carvok, I need to pick your brain about them for the wiki. I don't know what you need to pick my brain about, but you got my info on Discord. Perry King, should the Vault 75 quest complete in the quest tab? Mine stops at explore the admin area. Let me see. So all you have to do to complete this, I forgot to do it. You just have to activate the terminal. So in the vanilla game, there was a particular terminal entry you have to read. And I think in what I set it up as in our copy of the Vault is you just activate the terminal in the final office. That in that room where you find Jake, just go activate that terminal. It should complete the quest. Unless I screwed it up, but I'm pretty sure that works. Let's see. How are you holding in there, Sirlach? I know I've been just answering questions for a while. You still with us?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go soon. I've got all my animals are looking at me like I'm negligent in my duties.
What time of the day is it for you?
It's like 5 p.m.
Okay. So it's like right in the afternoon for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sometimes usually when I have the last people I've had on, it's been like ass in the morning, so they're just ready to go to sleep. You've just got stuff to do.
More coffee.
Thiago Sunfeld, I saw your post on the forum recruiting beta testers. How many are you pretending to recruit? I don't know what you mean pretending to recruit. I've recruited 4 people so far since I made that post. I'm hoping to get a fair number of folks. So what ends up happening usually in the beta testing, and like the what made me make that post is in the last round I had to do 2 hot fixes because nobody happened to catch that 2 of the biggest features I posted didn't actually make it into the plugin, and that would have been caught if I had more eyes on it. But what happens is like everybody's got their own stuff going on, you know, and so we only have a handful of beta testers, and just the people who happen to test it didn't test those particular things. They tested other stuff and it worked, and so you know it's hard to know who's testing what, and so by having more folks on it, it's just more likely that everything that I post about will get covered. Usually when I post a beta to our testers, it's like the bullet points, like here's the most important things in there. Like I'm okay if like I put out a quest fix and it didn't quite work correctly for everybody, because it's impossible to check all that. There's a lot of times when a quest breaks in a certain way for somebody, it can be for different reasons, and so maybe I fixed the reason for one person's save but not for another's. But there usually are going to be like some new features that I want to test or make sure, you know, does this thing, you know, I want to make sure this new thing doesn't break stuff. So for example, in the last patch, we added in some new dialogue for Jake to respond to the Institute. So it was like, you know, let's make sure that that doesn't break the existing quests that we added this new dialogue in and stuff like that. But just having more testers doing it properly. So like one way I can just do this is put out public betas. That's what I was doing during the hotfix cycle. And that works for the most part, but it's the testing is somewhat unreliable. Whereas when I bring people into the fold, we can get them using the proper pipeline. So we've got a Git tracker that other people on the team besides me will use and look at, and so more people can get their eyeballs on it. We can make sure that they have a direct line to me to discuss it without having to just post forum stuff and hope that I see it. So bringing on, I have no necessary limit to the number of people I'm bringing on. It'll just be like I'm tending to go after people who either have some experience testing, or you know, have some technical documentation background, or have done some QA before, or people who just come to me with an articulate message so that I know that they're not going to give me bad information. Because one of the problems that we have with relying on forums or Nexus comments or YouTube comments for bug reports is the quality is all over the place, and sometimes people don't do their due diligence to make sure it's not a mod conflict, and so like that making sure people are capable of doing that is a pretty clutch part of useful testing, is people need to be able to eliminate variables before they report something. Otherwise, I'm just kind of chasing phantoms all over the place.
And we haven't killed any beta testers recently. So
not killed any beta testers. Let's see.
No, we need as many as we can get, because it's just there's so many, as the boss said, there's so many variables now that trying to test them all is hard.
Especially in the live, now that we're live, where people are using their full load orders. So like when we're in alpha testing, it's a lot simpler, and there's a lot more to test, but it's a lot simpler because we say you can use workshop framework, HUD framework, and that's it, no other mods. Whereas in beta testing,
we are very focused on saving your save games.
Yeah, that's
protecting your save games.
That's the most important part of our patching. Is it's got to work on existing saves. Carvok, was the sanitation hospitals and cemeteries not supposed to have a stat boost from special? They are supposed to. I don't know if it got implemented though. Like the sanitation, I think it was supposed to add cleanliness. That might be implemented. I don't remember what they are, but it's on my list to check into if I didn't put them. I don't think cemeteries did. I couldn't think of a good one to give to that, but I'm pretty sure sanitation and hospitals have one on paper. I just don't know if it made it in or not. Discmaster, might as well briefly mention this. From the PRPSS2 patch, I'm aware of Hijack Vault 75 and HQ were pre-combined, but from the generation stats, maybe GNN2. Yeah, HQ, the main floor of HQ has pre-combines generated, though I don't think I did it correctly, or it needs some work done, because HQ, like I had HQ all working perfectly with the room bounds to where it wasn't having any of that, just the right angle, you see the void, and then once I generated pre-combines, it screwed that up. If you know how to fix that, I would love some information, because pre-combines are something I had to learn like in the last few weeks of development before Chapter 2 came out, when people were reporting that our Vault 75 performance was completely it was just dog shit, basically. Pardon my French, that's the only way to explain it. It was so bad. And then so we did the pre-combine to rescue that, and I had to learn it all, and I still am not sure I'm doing it right. Let's see, Kaio Dong, are there any contents that was inspired from your family or real life moments? No, I tend to not be involved much in the writing, other than like usually when I get involved in the writing meetings, there are two things I speak up about. One will be because it's teaching mechanics, I need to do something, or I have a vision about something really cool, like, oh, that inspired this, like that. And it's usually, I would say, more of my inspiration comes from movies and television shows than real life stuff, on the moments that I've suggested people change stuff in. I guess the only other time Sir Rick probably has lots of things that he knows he's probably thinking, you're full of crap, you comment all the time on writing. I remember the other one that I kept harping on during Chapter 1 dev was characters were saying ASAM too much, and it was like making my ears bleed, and like and I wasn't the only one on the team who felt that way too. I remember Kobus was if I have to hear one more character say ASAM, I'm gonna scream. So I remember having that edited out a lot.
They didn't have Tom saying it in such a pleasant way.
Choo Choo, since you mentioned it, nukes when. I know I can't wait to get to work on that. That's going to be a fun project. I really want to get Fallout 76 nukes into Fallout 4. I know it's possible. It's just like finding it'll take a lot of time to add, and then so like finding the hours to do it when I have all this other stuff to work on is tough for me.
Insert nuke here.
Insert nuke here. Jim Simon, what's this about beta testers? I'd be interested. If you go to our forums, in the latest, I think I did it in the hotfix patch I pointed out, but there's a recruitment section on our forum. So if you go to simsettlements.com, click on forums, there's a recruitment section. Fairly, it's like right in the first block of things. I'll just bring it up. But anyway, I put out a post for more beta testers, because we just need more eyeballs, especially on the patches. And then anybody who excels at the at beta testing, I usually invite to alpha test our new expansions. So if you are on Sim Settlements forums and go to recruitment here, you'll see there's all sorts of posts. Now mine is going to have a bunch of deleted posts because I get to see them all because I'm an admin. But if you go on there, you'll find a beta tester thing. It's basically just DM me on the forum with some pitching yourself to why you should be a good beta tester, and as long as you and I have my own internal qualifications of what I decide when I'm going to bring somebody on. It's basically most people who can write a complete sentence I'm going to bring on at this point, because I just need more folks looking at this stuff before I release it. Velin Love, my fiance is playing through SS2 for the first time after hearing me rant about it for the past 3 months. He just discovered Little Cola for the first time. He's in love. Small dog mod win. Oh, that's actually on my board. I was supposed to do... So the small dogs were almost entirely done by Fried Turkey and HCX Grill. You guys have seen a lot of their mods. They do a lot of the Capital Wasteland type stuff where they've done independent releases, a lot of Fallout 3 porting. They basically did that, the small dogs for us. And I promised them I would release it as a mod, and I'd give them most of the donation points for it because like that they did such an awesome work on it. But I've just not been able to find the time, and the same reason I haven't been able to do the nukes is like it's a big time commitment to get those extracted from S2. But I also try and like give myself a non SS2 project every month, like something else it ends up being like a palette cleanser. It's something else I can focus on that might be useful, and that has been on my short list of like projects I can work on. So small dogs mod will definitely happen at some point. I just couldn't give you a timeline right now. Let's see, Jake, and is sanitation pollution going to make it into the HUD or some way to get info on them? Yeah, as soon as you unlock the sanitation plot, you will see a little new meter show on the left there between the what's it called, power and the homes. It should appear, but it's perhaps, let me see, do I have perception? Oh no, I don't think I have that unlocked. I don't have sanitation unlocked yet. Let me build one and check just to throw away save, but it should appear as soon as you have sanitation unlocked. So we didn't put the clean originally during testing, the cleaning, the pollution meter, the cleaning, pollution, or whatever you call it, hygiene, I guess we were calling it at the time. It would show up immediately, and the testers were complaining that they couldn't do anything about it. So and they wanted me to like introduce sanitation sooner. It's like, oh, that's not the goal. The goal of the whole system was we need you to feel the pain of diseases for a while, so that when you start getting the solutions, they're actually meaningful. It's like, oh yes, finally we have something we can do about it. So the solution I came up with, which I think worked, was to just get rid of the clean thing, just so you didn't have to see it and think about it until you could do something about it. Sirlach, if you need to go, give me a time. Do you need to leave like in 1 minute? Because otherwise I'm just keep answering questions, and you are welcome to chime in anytime, or I'm sure somebody will have something for you. But I know you said your dogs are about.
I'll give it another 15, and then
another 15. Okay.
I'll bow out.
Okay, well, I might be done. I might be toast by then as well. I'm getting tired.
Oh yeah, because it's late for you.
Yeah, it's like midnight for me, and I've tried to. I used to be a 2 to 3 a.m. guy, but I'm slowly. I don't know if it's age or just like
Did you ever get the pro level caffeine set up?
No, I never ended up. I'm very jealous of your caffeine setup. No, I'm still on just like on the basics right now. Drip coffee and a Keurig, and that's what I've got going on. And then if I really need an espresso, I just got to walk down to the coffee shop. Let's see here. Thiago, do wearing the workers on a plot with a stat boosting gear help with the plot links for position? Yes, the stat boosting gear does work. Discmaster, I have a manual on Git floating about how I used to build the previous repair pack, and that patch I mentioned hits your mod's worst interiors. Interesting. Okay, cool. I'll have to check that out. Let's see. Choo-choo, any plans to add some tutorial videos or something for HQ? The start of it, especially with staffing, is a bit difficult to understand. Yes, I absolutely will. So the HQ has so much more content coming to it. Like, that is just a fraction of it, and a lot of that content doesn't make sense yet, or a lot of the features, because the corresponding stuff it's supposed to be pairing with isn't in yet. And some of the tutorialization will probably come with Chapter 3 because we need voice actors again, and we just don't want to keep hitting up our main voice actors with like little piecemeal projects. So it'll be a phased thing. It's kind of like HQ won't really be done until, it probably won't be done until, let me think, I don't know, late 2023. Like, it's just going to be, there's going to be new content in it for patches. There's going to be new content in it for Chapter 3, and then I'll be improving quality of life and UI and stuff for another year after we release Chapter 3. So it's going to be a while before it's all the way there. Like, I mean, I think this is one of the, like, when I see folks on the forums who are like, you know, I can see they're getting impatient with it, is like my vision of this whole thing is like, we're kind of, I don't want to say early access because we do make an effort to make sure everything's playable, but I would say like all of the stuff that we're building up towards something. And I'm always looking at it from the perspective of when we're done, when we signed off and say we're 100% done, that's the experience I'm looking at, and that's going to be a while to get there because, you know, this is something we do in our free time. Some days I only have an hour to put in on the mod, so like you know, it's got a long dev cycle to do all this. When we're effectively building a game on top of Fallout 4, you know, doing that 1 hour at a time is gonna take a while. So yes to tutorial videos, but first I want to get all the content in, because if I do a bunch of one of the problems I had with, and maybe I'll renege on that and end up doing them sooner. But I remember when I did the initial tutorials for some settlements, they were like outdated after a couple months of patching, and I just don't. And the feedback I got on my Conqueror videos is I need to tighten them up, and the Conqueror videos took me a long time to produce. So thinking about doing that multiple times for HQ, I'm just like, nope. So I want to do it once. So I want to make sure that it's all out there first. Let's see here. Maximus Houghton, out of interest, have you spoken to the Fallout London team to see if there will be settlements in their mod? And if yes, will SS2 work on the mod? I have spoken to a couple people with Fallout London. I actually had one of them on my podcast when I was doing that. And I always poke everybody who has a big world mod coming out about settlements, and I don't remember what their answer was, so somebody else might be able to answer that if they remember from that podcast. That was a long time ago, though. That was probably 2 years ago. But I always ask the developers, like I've asked people in Miami and Cascadia and everything, and so far I don't think anybody has planned on having settlements. The only people that I know who are going to have settlements are so I know there's like 2 versions of a New Vegas remake that are being worked on. There's the one that's already out where you can kind of dink around in there, and I think they already have settlements. And then the other one, I think they're planning on no settlements, but maybe they've changed their tune on that. So, and I think Point Lookout, I think they're going to do settlements in that, because I've talked to Turkey a few times about it, but I don't know what's going on. I think that mod, they're still waiting for all the voice acting to be finished, because I think, as far as I know, the mod's all fully playable, just hasn't released yet. So I always ask those guys if they're going to add settlements, and I make sure that we're supporting of it. But the nice thing is as long as settlements are built to vanilla specifications, which there's so many great tutorials out there, then SS2 will just work with them. It doesn't require any special handling. No trick. I have 100. Oh, what were you saying, Sirlach? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, as we have learned over the last couple of projects, is that when you're a big team, you just got to meet your goals. Any sort of feature creep or nice to have sort of get pushed to the side, because at the end of the day, you just got to get it out the door. And most of these big mods are still a long way away from.
Right.
Sorry, that's just my personal opinion.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think one of the things with I think that would be something that some people on the team get annoyed with. I remember Strong would always say, like, yeah, you always give me 70% of what you say you will. I'm quick to say yes to feature creep, and then like when it gets to, when the rubber meets the road, I'm just like, no, sorry, we got to cut that. Like, that's not important enough to ship. I love feature creep though. I like to say yes to everything. I think I've been a little. I've tightened up my belt with Chapter 3. I've said no to a lot more than I would normally. Let's see. No trick. I have 100 hours in the last 2 weeks. I love this mod. Yes, the ASAM thing was getting a bit too much. Might have been responsible for what happened to Hold Ball. Yeah, a lot of people saying ASAM. And it like I think because the voice talent was so good, it almost didn't matter what they said in that regard. Like, they could have said ASAM 1,000 times more, and I think people would have got past it. But like, I think our voice acting quality has improved with each new mod. Like the people that have been willing to work with us, like, are higher caliber each go round, and like Cobus has expanded his network and whatnot, and then we're able to put out fancy trailers to lure people in. Like, some of the people that we got who worked on Chapter 2 is insane. Like, we've got people who worked on Bethesda games now doing stuff in the mod, which is nutty. And I think that that helped deal with some of the ASAM thing. But in my head, I was expecting the quality of voice actors we had been working with prior to that, which were mostly newbies, people who had never done it professionally. And having them, and in my head, hearing one of them say ASAM over again, I was like, this is so awful. Because I'm like, the ASAM censor thing already to me feels a little cringy, because it does something I always dislike when other mods do, is introduce too much of their own custom lore, and it makes it so it makes it harder to take serious. But I think with because we're putting the effort in to make this stuff look high quality, like we introduce it with a really beautiful model for the ASAM sensors, this amazing voice actor, that crazy laser scanning information, I think people are able to take it seriously. But ASAM to me was so hard for me to like get people to go all in on, because also when we started writing the main quest, like when it was still Rise of the Commonwealth, in my head we weren't gonna have a custom ASAM sensor. For those of you guys who remember SS1, the ASAM sensor, let me see if I can find the thing in here. The ASAM sensor is just a piece of, let's see, where is it? Oh, I guess you can't build it in workshop mode. So there's like this little laser tripwire thing that you can find in dungeons. And it was just like a chunk of that. That was what an ASAM sensor was. And that, in my head, was what we were going to be using with mediocre quality voice acting. And like, so then, like, to me, it was just like, no, God, no, to stop saying ASAM. I didn't even want that tech in this, but the writers ran with it. Okay. So yeah, the ASAM's things for me are still I love them. Now I love them. I think we did our work to earn their spot, but for the longest time I was so afraid of people just cringing over them, because I was cringing over them.
It just worked. I mean, but with all the backstory now and the integration and with the comm hub and everything, it all just makes for this very rich and very believable. I mean, I'm biased, but I think we've got some of the most canony lore out of a mod out there, really. I mean,
yeah, well,
I don't see any other way it could have worked.
I mean, I'm kind of a hardliner with like there's certain pet peeves I have which I don't let through the writing. Like I don't like too much throwback to old games. I find that pretty cringy because it's just like it's fanfic is what it feels like. But yeah, Sirlach was also the one who had the foresight to ask one of our artists to make these beautiful ASAM sensors so that people would take them seriously. And that didn't even occur to me to do that. Like it's not where my mind went. Let's see. Marcel,
Sirlach voices them as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he voices the ASAM sensor character. Oh yeah, somebody, I think it was Mod Hunter, asked a long time ago, and me and you and I were in deep conversation, so I didn't break to say anything about it. But it asked about, are there tutorials for the city planner's desk? This was like an hour ago. This came up in chat, and I would like to add one of those to the holotape. I've showed this before, but in the holotape, there's tutorials where you can read about the different mechanics. And I don't know if one ever made it in there for the City Planner's Desk or not, but that would be how I would do a tutorial for the City Planner's Desk, is through that. If we didn't already do one, I would assume that that's where it'll end up eventually. Marcel Cosme, do you need any assistance with modeling? I'm proficient in older versions of 3ds Max and pursuing to creating again. I actually I've had a post up for a 3D modeler for months that no one's responded to. Well, a couple people responded to, but no one with the portfolio to match either the type of stuff we were after or the quality we were after, because we try and keep up to a minimum. Like, we're trying to keep to the art style of Fallout 4, so we have some requirements on it. So if you've got a decent portfolio, please, and you wanna poke me on our forums, go to simsettlements.com, go to forums. Then there's a recruitment section there, and there should still be a 3D modeler post. I don't know if I ever took it down out of losing hope, or if I left it up. But we have a couple of 3D modelers on the team, but they're very busy people. Both of them are going through college programs right now. Well, I shouldn't say we have just two. We have several. Like, you can even do a little, Sirlach. But I know you don't do stuff from scratch. But like Nihur does some. We've got Hoxie does some, and Zerbig Sis does some. But they've all got limits to how much they can do. So there's plenty more. There's always more stuff that we want to add in custom. Let's see. Choo-Choo-1. The Mega Packs for SS1 had some unique buildings to them, like the donut shops. Is there a chance of those unique buildings would get an SS2 port? Yes, actually. XV Versus is going to port those for us and put them in SS2 Extended. So I don't know when that'll happen. I'd say probably the next couple months. He's gotten really proficient at porting them. So those will just appear in SS2 Extended one day. There's a lot of content we've got coming in SS2 Extended. We've got a bunch of new outfits. Like, I think we're gonna end up with, God, so many. I bet the FES has created 80 new outfits. I know we said 41 new settler outfits, and then we've got a bunch of HQ outfits so that the HQ workers per department can have more customized outfits. So we have just so many new clothing coming.
That's a whole side of my portfolio I haven't even touched on, was being press ganged into the outfits team.
Yeah, you did a bunch of outfit stuff.
Can I just say that there's a definite lack of good tutorials out there for outfit stuff.
Yeah, outfits are super tribal knowledge. It's like you got to know the right people to figure that stuff out. Not a lot of people have documented their information on that. And we've tried, and like our documentation is kind of you know, a little. It's a mix of like some of that's relevant, some of it could be replaced. Like we could, yeah, somebody could do a deep dive on outfit mashups and really go to town.
Oh,
on
Outfit Studio. For anyone who hasn't had a play with it, just have a look at Outfit Studio. It is incredible. It is almost like they've encapsulated, you know, most of what 3ds Max can do into this application. It's mind blowing what you can do. Some people actually build their mods in Outfit Studio just because it's
you can do some pretty crazy mashup
It's
stuff.
mesh manipulation is just fantastic.
No trick. Maybe ASAMs were like the Gek tech. Yeah, I think that's one of the cool things about Fallout is they kind of have like magic and they call it technology. So like some of the impossible technical devices. So like, yeah, that was my justification for ASAMs is like, you know, they got things like the Gek that can just, you know, do voodoo to make things better. So like I never was worried about ASAMs from the sense of like not fitting in with the lore. It was more like me creating my own lore. And at the time there was so much jank associated with it. Like that's the difference, I think. Like when a mod puts in the effort with their new lore, I don't mind it at all. It's when they like half-ass it and then it's like, ugh. And I was worried we were gonna have to half-ass some stuff. And I don't mind. And again, like, you know, as long as you sideline it, it's okay to half-ass stuff. I think even Bethesda does this. They talk about how, you know, the reason the horses go slow in Skyrim is because they know that the game engine will choke if they let them go too fast. So like, well, let's not put that front and center, and like, you know, you kind of keep the stuff that's not, you know, that's not super polished or not super deep. You don't put the spotlight on that stuff. So like, for me, ASAM sensors themselves were never really polished, so I didn't want that to be a spotlight on it, and instead all the writing was ASAM, 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 and I was like, oh, good lord. But again, thankfully Sirlach thought to commission, in a way, the creation of the really beautiful ASAM sensor models. Thiago, talking about SS2 Extended, do I install it by itself or do I install SS2 and then Extended? There's no information on the next page. I'm actually going to solve that with 2.02. Extended is actually going to become part of the base download, and SS2 without it will be an optional file. So you won't have to do it. It's starting with 2.02. You'll be able to just go to Vortex or Nexus and just click download, and you'll get Extended automatically. Because I think a lot of people aren't using Extended for exactly that reason. They either didn't know that was there or don't know how to install it. So I'm going to solve that with 2.02 because there's a lot of great content in there. It adds a bunch of enhanced textures, a bunch of new small dogs. So people, who like the small dogs. I think we have 8 or 9 breeds total. In the base mod, there's only 3, but in the if you get Extended, you end up with 8 or 9 different breeds.
At the pet store.
Yeah, at the pet store. And there's pet armor, I think, for the small dogs. There's pet armor available if you have Extended. There's going to be more building plans. There's so much content. Like all of the cool stuff that people on the team just got really excited about and built, but it's like, that doesn't really serve the main story or doesn't add a mechanic. We have to move it to Extended because Xbox players. So, but the goal is for PC players, like Extended should be a must-have because it's got so much content and it's going to just keep getting more and more. Like there was a talk for a while, and I know you talked me out of it because you were like, I don't want to. I have put all this work in. Holidays were going to be part of Extended, and they might end up getting moved to Extended for Chapter 3 because we are. I don't know, sir. Like, how tight we are on space. We are so tight.
No,
on
I've
space.
got it. Can I share it? Can I share another dev story?
Yeah, please.
So during the last hectic part of Chapter 2, conversations were had where we were arguing over 100K. Not like 100K. We had run out of room, and so anything that had to go in had to be argued about. It was pretty serious.
Yeah, well, and we managed to give Xbox players a decent amount of space this time compared to what they probably would have got. Like if we included all the SS2 Extended content, we couldn't fit Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 on Xbox. Just wouldn't be possible. No. Based on right now, I think in Chapter 2. There's just shy of 400 megabytes of voice files. So we assume that we need at least that much for Chapter 3 because Chapter 3 is very dialogue heavy. So bare minimum, we need that much. I bet more like 500 megs. Yeah. There's only, even if Xbox players gave us every ounce of space, we only have 350 megs left for Xbox. So we have to make some room because we have more than just voice files. We have assets we've got that are going to be clutch to the story. So yeah, basically a lot of excess stuff that's not required to run the mod or get its basic features is going to get moved to Extended for Chapter 3 release for the 3.0 patch. Don't know how I'm going to do it because like some stuff like, you know, like the holiday stuff like already exists in their game. So if I delete the meshes, they're going to have crashes. So it's going to require some very It's a very interesting manipulation. Like I'm imagining something like replacing the mesh file path with a blank static or something. I don't know how we're gonna do it. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. That's gonna be like one of the crunch projects I imagine right before we release chapter 3 is, all right guys, time to make 500 megs of space. Let's see here. Choo-choo. Sirlach, if you got a roll, I know you got stuff to do. I'm gonna just answer these last 5 questions though. If you want to stick around for the last couple minutes, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I'll wish everyone a very pleasant evening, and thank you so much for your support.
Yeah.
And this is like the most fun, I've had playing games and modding games ever, and it's just so great to see so many people still loving the mod and still being passionate about it and still supporting it in all the various ways. And obviously thanks to His Majesty,
the boss.
for doing all this. It's just amazing. So I'll say good night, everyone, and stay tuned for chapter 3. It's going to be. Big's probably not appropriate word.
I hope we pull off everything we have planned. All right, so
awesome.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm going to stick around for a little bit longer, answer a few more questions. Say hello to the doggos for me.
They need walkies ASAP.
All right, take care, man.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Choo-choo 1. What are your plans for SS2 post chapter 3 / Starfield? So it's gonna, after chapter 3, I'll have some amount of features we had to cut last minute that I'll keep working on. But it'll be an opportunity so every time we end an expansion release, I kind of give everybody on the team an opportunity to gracefully exit. Like, there'll be no hard feelings. I know, like, thank you for doing everything you did. You won't have dropped the ball on anything if you want to bail. So it'll be that again. And then we'll see who wants to stick around to help me clean up the remaining content. And then I'll do a whole bunch of efforts to leave SS2 in the hands of the community. So it'll be like a bunch of tutorial videos, releasing my code publicly, setting up permissions in a way where people can release patches to change the mod or fix things about it without conflicting with each other as best I can. Fixing as many of the bugs that are reasonable to fix, and slowly just kind of do a wind down over the following year or two after chapter 3 comes out. But I don't know what I am going to do after that for myself, so like that will determine it. Like if I get sucked into a Starfield mod or some new project or starting a new game where it's just taking over my obsession, then it might change my SS2 post plans. But I'm definitely going to make sure that I make the time to let SS2 have a long life after I'm done with it. Because, Bethesda modding has a really long tail on it, so I want to make sure that people have the tools to continue going. And, hopefully somebody in the, whether it be on the team or an add-on pack author or somebody in the community who's very passionate will end up taking over and being the steward of it after I've moved on. But I don't anticipate that being anytime soon. There's just so much to do still. Eventually that is what will happen. We'll have the content finished, and we'll put it in a state where the community can keep running with it so that, if we ever get a Fallout 4 special edition, SS2 doesn't become one of the lost mods, because that happened a lot for Skyrim. We don't want that to happen with some settlements. Let's see. No trick. You could link it to the GEC somehow in a terminal. I assume you're talking about ASAM sensors. There's no GEC in the game yet. We actually talked about doing a GEC in our story at some point and then ended up getting scrapped. Choo-choo on feature request, the ability to send pets to HQ. That is, I think it's technically already possible, because technically they're settlers, so you'd probably have to use console commands to do it, but we'll work something out with that eventually. HQ's got a lot more stuff like that to worry about, but I know I've seen people who have managed to send cola there somehow. So it's definitely possible. And eventually we'll open up the doors there. But when you see all the features, you'll see why we didn't include that right off the bat when we get to chapter 3 and everything. Discmaster suggested, depending on the results of a friend of mine's inquiry with a Beth dev, move pre-compines on PC to extended and do them clean style. I'll later talk in Discord for this. Okay. Yeah, I can't, Xbox has to have pre-combines or they will not be able to play Runners and Gunners or HQ. It just would not be plausible. But yeah, it's the size of those, that is probably the second largest chunk of content on our Xbox version of the mod. It's voice files is number 1, and then pre-combines are the second. Like, we had to do, there's so many files, like 200 and some megs of files for these 2 cells, but those 2 cells are so clutch. Like, you saw how big that quest was for runners and gunners, and like that big moment with the animation and everything. That's like a pretty key quest. We can't have them being unable to play. And then obviously HQ is the end game loop. That has to, and that's already, I've seen for a lot of PC players, HQ gets bogged down real fast, performance FPS wise, and so like playing that without pre-combines is just not feasible. Slangel, thank you for the show tonight. This is the only show I watch every week. Keep up the great work, Sirlach and King. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Jim Simon, beta tester message sent. Fantastic. Choo-choo, one last question. When will companions be able to sign to HQ? I thought they already could. That's meant to be the case. So I think what you have to do is send them to a settlement first, and it should be that any settler, whether they're a companion or whatnot, our HQ conversation, the little recruit one, should hijack everybody's conversation. I put the priority really high. If that's not the case, that I would consider that a bug. But I mean, one of the design goals for HQ was for it to be like the coolest version ever of the Lucky 38. Like that was one. Like, I loved that moment when I realized I could send all my companions in New Vegas to that casino. That was so cool. And so like that's one of the things with HQ. It's supposed to be a place where you can house all your favorite people. So our design goal is for HQ to be able to support technically 100 people. I don't know if it's capable of that right now. I'll keep iterating on performance and everything. I think the highest that someone got it in testing, just because they just didn't have time to do more, and that was 70 people, and it was stable. But yeah, my goal is to make it so that you guys could put all of your companions from the base game, from mods, from DLC, all of our recruitable settlers, like all your favorite people in the game. I want you to be able to have living in HQ with you. Like that's one of my design goals. Disconnections. There's 2 kinds of pre-combines. Filtered in the CKGUI style are larger. Clean or shared geometry is mentioned. This is something okay. Yeah, I remember reading about there's different types of pre-combines, and I didn't have time to get into it when I was learning about it. Jason Lundgren, thanks for another great stream. Appreciate you taking the time. Choo-choo. Okay, I will try that then. Thank you for all your work, and thank you again for fixing the room bug so fast. Yeah, I hope to keep fixing things quickly. I guess I have something in the works right now. I've been reaching out to a few of the people in the community who are really good at bug hunting and give me really solid information about kind of help empowering some of them to do merges into the mod, because there's a lot of people who have already solved bug fixes and given me the information. I just haven't had a chance to act on it because I'm so damn busy. I'm a huge bottleneck in this mod production. That needs to change. So hopefully we can start seeing more fixes coming down the pipeline here. But all right, guys, yeah, I think everybody can hear the tiredness in my voice. I am definitely gonna wind down now. Thanks for joining me, and for those of you who love Jake, remember next week I will have Tom Schulk, the voice actor of Jake, joining me for the chat time after we play. So it'll be a fun conversation. I've had one conversation with him in voice. I remember we did a little powwow before we started recording chapter 1. But otherwise, I've never had another conversation with him, so I'm excited to talk with him. It'll be fun to get him to say some stuff for Jake, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So I'll catch you guys next week.